Yeah. Uh-huh. Starting it up in the background here. What up? Live game, replay game, any game. Sit up. We're just vibing, man. I'm about to hit you with something in the intro. Yeah. Last call. In the house. Last call podcast. Live. Friday. Hope you're getting it in, man. And glad to have you. And as we do this, man, you know, once in a while I like to get it started with going back to how things used to be, you know, without the rush and everything like that. Sit here would do, right? Oh, don't tell me they got rid of me already. Am I doing too much? Am I doing too much? So we're gonna do, I was told on top of computer stuff, We're good. Yeah. Unless, let me try one more thing. It's about the vibes, man. We'll get it right. What's up? By last week, a little more choppiness, I guess, if we're going to put some responsibility on StreamYard. It was getting cussed out, man. Kind of seeing why, man. We're going to be doing a whole lot of screen sharing and stuff. It just doesn't seem to be going right at the moment. So, and that's just what it's got to be. So, yo, welcome. It is Friday, folks. You know what we do. How's the week? How's it going? I'm going to drop the link soon. What's up? Hey, This is the podcast in the house over here. Wow, we got Josephine already in the house. Emmanuel, OG Emmanuel dropping in. What's up? What's up? A lot of stuff going down. You know, tough to so many directions to go in. Open that down. Let me get a little drinky drink here. Just juice, actually mango, some other stuff. It's good enough. Yeah. We tried doing that again. Oh, said that the link didn't go through. Pressing a whole bunch of buttons. Sure. Let me try again here. Yeah, man, it's just our stuff. There's that stuff if you Umar, and particularly the release of this movie Awaken, I believe is the name. So we'll chat about that. Of course, we'll chat about what's her name. For some reason, I think we're going to get the name wrong, but I also don't think so. Amanda Seals is the name. What's up, Joe?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, testing.
Chilling. What's up? I could hear you, man. It's a little low, you know.
Let me make it louder. I don't
Do
have.
We got to send for a Red Bull for you, man.
Man, listen. Today, listen. I don't even know how I made that.
What are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my Mac computer. Hold on, let me see if it works.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Crazy tales.
Can you hear me?
Either getting bit.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you, so I'm sure. I can hear you. I can hear you.
You're Borgian. You're Borgian. You're Borgian.
It seems a little faint, but I don't know if that's just me.
I said you're Borgian. Mute yourself a little bit and then wait and then unmute yourself. Anybody? Emmanuel, can you hear me? Do I sound clear?
No. Holy cow. Hello. This just happened. I realized I probably just missed a whole bunch of stuff to say on here. And then I guess it came back on and then I got muted. But I don't know, whatever's happening seems to be a delay or whatever the deal is. I see you guys saying you could hear, can't hear, whatever. Hopefully as it goes on, it'll be more clear, more consistent. I'm going to refrain from jumping around here.
You sound better. Can you hear me?
For any resources or stuff like that. Whatever. I don't know if you flicking on, the video in the background will help versus me doing it, but we'll just see how it goes. All right, cool. You could hear. All right, I think it's only going to get better from here. So, yeah, do it like that. So, my bad. We are here. You can hear me, right, Joe?
Yeah. Do you have your computer plugged?
Cool.
There's a behind. Wait, are we behind? Wait, you're
What?
hearing me. You're hearing me as a delay.
Behind what?
You're hearing me as a delay. Like there's a long delay
You
between
think
you
so?
and yes.
Hmm. All right. Now it's on.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Is it still happening? Check one, check two.
Is it still testing? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna talk at the same time. Yo.
Yeah. Now I could hear you.
Okay, you hear me now? See, you
My
have a
repeat.
delay.
Oh, I see it doing something on my computer.
Yeah. You are you
Like
plugged into are you plugged
it
into an
looks like it
ether?
wants to refresh the page for some reason.
Okay.
I
Are
hope.
you on the are you
I
on
don't
the
know if anybody
ethernet?
could hear. I hear you in and out.
Okay. This is what you do.
Say the ether. Now good. Now good. Wonder if I should try this.
Get try to log in on your phone while you're logged in on here at the same
Get
time.
on my phone. Hmm. All right. No. Wait a minute. Wait, I have
Emmanuel,
to go get it.
Emmanuel. Okay. So I'm trying to
Then try. All right. I might disappear for 2 seconds. Let me see how this works. Now it looks like it's going to work. Good. No good.
is it working?
No, I got to leave for hang on. If I
Okay.
leave, I just got
I
to go to
got
the
it.
other room and get my phone. But
Oh,
I think it might work here.
it seems like
You
it's
think
getting
it's
a little
working now?
I think it's getting a little bit better. Like you had a delay. Are you plugged into an ethernet?
That's with the cable plugged in.
Yes, into your
Is that what that
machine.
means?
Yes.
Nothing's plugged in. It's all Wi-Fi'd up. But I
Wi-Fi.
think it's a lot. I think there was just a thing, man. My connection's been shit. I think StreamYard's been a little, from what I hear, a couple people. KKC had a little issues this morning. I don't know if it's
You're
some
getting
sort of
better.
weird overload or whatever, but it seems like it's working now, so we can work with that. All
Yeah,
right, all right.
I
Better,
think you're
better.
getting
It's gonna get better anyway.
yeah, it's getting better. Wait, you're catching up to me. You're finally slowly
I think
catching
we're
up.
in. Think we're in.
Little bit. We getting a little better.
All right, all right. We'll see. Everything looks good on my end now.
You need fiber. You need fiber. That's all I have to say. You need fiber.
Are you sure it's me, man?
Yes, it's you.
A little better. How close? How close?
You're about 3 seconds behind me.
I'm on like the internet thing, the Wi-Fi thing is like one. Let me see. I don't know. It doesn't really help it, so it
Why
could
don't
just
you
get
move?
better
Can
shortly.
you can you
Son
move?
of a gun! They did something.
Are you on a laptop?
They did something to my. They had to have because it was never this bad. I am on the left. I don't have a desktop, so yeah.
Can you get closer to
Going
your
on.
can you get closer to your internet your router? Can you move yourself closer to your router?
I gotta lift all this stuff.
Oh, okay. We'll leave it there.
We'll see. We'll see.
Look, I'm
See what
like
I can do
sitting
here for 2
behind.
seconds.
I'm literally sitting in front of my router.
Good.
They got you. You're getting bodied by your service provider.
It's just low. It's low right now. I've never seen last time I saw it, I changed it. But this is not like this isn't
Which
normal. It was
which
fine all
browser?
day.
which browser are you using? Are you using Chrome or are you using Bing or Fire?
Oh, that is a good. I use Edge, the
Maybe
one
you
that
should
comes with it.
you should probably use Chrome.
I'm comfortable with it. I know it's not the
You
best, but
you should use Chrome to log into
let's see how
StreamYard.
this is. I moved over here. No,
No, I can hear you. You're
you said you
catching
just
up.
logged in. What's up?
You're catching up. You catching up.
No, it's good. Yeah, there was a little spurt in there was a little thing there. It just flashed a little more. So maybe I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
get.
Fighting the powers. Oh, it's getting a little stronger. I don't
Does it
know.
sound like
And
I'm
now it's back
talking over
down.
you now?
I don't know. Weather's good.
Does it sound like I'm talking over you and you can hear
My,
me?
my,
Oh, now you're getting bodied again.
now I could hear. I heard you just when you stepped in there at the last minute. The hell?
Yeah, you're like a few
Oh
seconds.
man, I want a show. I don't want to cancel the show. Let me, because
Just
I don't.
look, just switch devices. So go. Well, you're gonna
But
log in. You're gonna log in, but don't log off here yet. Log in on your StreamYard from your phone. I'm trying to rule out if it's your
okay,
computer. Yes. Welcome to Last Call Show. We're right now we're troubleshooting. We're doing it in live.
where's your AI now? The brother
Listen,
of a certain
my,
age.
oh
What was
yeah,
the
but
AI's name?
what was he was using? Maya.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was the name of his. It was called Maya.
I'm gonna go with Maya.
And I was telling
All right,
people that um
hold on here.
we're still here. We're not frozen. Well, maybe last call is, but I'm here. Hi everybody. Oh, we sound like your auntie and uncle when they first got their their smartphone. We're like, hey, press. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Log in. No. Hit the other screen. No. How's it going, Emmanuel? What's going on in the world? How's everybody doing? I'm taking over the show. This is my show now. We're gonna talk about a couple of things. I really want to talk about Amanda Seals. That was amazing. Um, I think that Umar's gonna talk about not Umar. Lasco is going to talk about Umar Johnson. I'm trying to find out if Umar Johnson made a video that or said something in his video towards Lennon Honor. I heard that he told Lennon Honor to clean the white stuff around his mouth. Is that true? I'm still trying to find a clip because that's crazy. Also, is he going around asking
I'm
people
coming
for?
on here. Hang on.
Look, I didn't took over your show.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to know if Umar going around asking, trying to pay for, people want women to pay him $500 for a date.
Hang on. Can you even hear me? Is it's normal now?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Or is there okay, I'm gonna switch.
Yeah, you gonna have to switch. You gonna have
Yeah,
to
can you
learn.
hear me like on time?
Can I hear you on time? I don't know. You have to keep talking.
Are we no like is this regular now? There's no delay.
I hear you, but there is a delay.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go to the phone. All right,
Yep.
no problem.
All right,
All
now
right, no
put
problem.
yourself on mute up there. Yeah.
We're here. Hang on. Am I? Hang on. All right, so it should work now.
Right.
Crying out loud.
It's your computer. It's that browser you're using. You might
It
have to
is.
close out a lot of, you might have to close out a lot of windows.
Yeah. It's proving itself to be a little crappy. While we're talking here, I'm trying to use the. I got headphones. I got a newer, so hopefully it'll click over here. Course, of course, and use this up.
Just
Um,
remove yourself from the StreamYard on the computer, so it just shows just these two people. You can still control it. You're just not gonna.
mm, oh,
You're
from
just
the screen.
right. So the last
Okay.
call, the one that you logged in on the computer, just remove him from the stream. There you go. There you go.
All right, relax, relax. You get no golden star over here. Oh, okay. This is a way. This is a way to do it. That
Yes.
works.
Yeah. With my technical genius, I knew what the
Oh,
problem was. I knew what the problem was, but
did you? Did you? All right. Well,
it
I
happened.
think the.
It happened last week. I should have emailed you and said, you're gonna have to download a backup browser.
Oh, did you? I'm not sure I even saw that one. I didn't
No, I
respond.
should have. I said I should
Oh,
have. I wasn't thinking.
yeah. Might be time to do that. I'm just used to what I'm used to.
Yeah,
Obviously, if it's not serving wrong.
so far I brought up two topics. I said we're gonna talk about Amanda Seals bodying all those men on all those people, and then we're gonna talk about how Umar Johnson wants women to pay to eat, to have dinner with him.
To have dinner with the Pan African scammer.
Like, why would I pay to see him eat sloppy?
Well, okay, so there's so much to that that just dinner should not be the thing. You're absolutely right. He's not a refined individual. You know, I couldn't imagine a great conversation where the other party feels valued. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let's go. So Umar's latest thing beyond the march on Wilmington, beyond the racism claims, the countersue, protesting, uh, movie now, movie called Awaken, and that even whole thing's a trip. The interview with Lennon, I think her name is Marianne, not sure the last name, but she's been getting a lot of exposure. The lady that produced the movie.
Oh,
Um, she did the interview with Lennon and detailed her difficulties dealing with Umar during the course of making this film. Things such as that he would uh, basically harass one of the younger women and most of the women on set. He wanted to go farther than it was required in the so-called love scenes, um, and things like that. And it just him being very abrasive and him not being humble enough to list to be directed properly from his sister's film. So yeah, that's kind of the things that they were going on here too. So there's all of that stuff, and then now, and of course the whole uh, cancellation of all his funds, all that stuff too. So this is an idea that he introduced, and a lot of people thought weren't sure actually if he was going back to or something else resurfaced. If because he tried something like this again, a date with the doc, a 2020 versus one, like the pop of the balloon thing for him. He just wants the fame, that sort of stuff with him. So all of that, and now, correct me if I'm wrong, $500 for a date. Lennon explained this perfectly. $500 for the date, but somehow he's paying for the date also. But paying for the date, it's
Yeah.
suggested that the money's coming out of the $500 donation, perhaps.
Right. He's gonna take you and get you a $25 meal with the $500 that you gave him. That don't make no sense.
So, but you two adults eating, two grown ass people eating. That is at least it's going to be 100 or maybe over $100, right? Like I don't know what he plans, but that automatically is going to cut into his profits. You know what I'm saying? Or donations, should I say profit or whatever it is.
So let me ask you this, and we could talk about this. Why do you think that? Because these women who are coming out now and talking about Umar Johnson, right, and how he is, and what he's doing, and all this and that, I don't feel sorry for none of these women, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
So the dude is already a baby daddy. That right there is a negative, right? So these women are latching on to a man that they think is famous. He's not really a good sweet talker or anything. He lies,
Not
you know,
true.
like a woman doesn't want to sit on the phone with a man that says things three times anyway. Like, so these women were getting something out of it. The question is, what are they getting out of it? Like,
Hmm.
what are they getting out of interacting with him? And you just fell off. Nobody, Umar Johnson, he's not a late, like, he's trying to be a ladies' man. But I think I just think that some of these women are also cashing out on his, notoriety. What little notoriety that he has, they see him as an influencer, and they're enjoying his company until something goes haywire. I don't feel sorry for these women.
I missed about a little bit of that because I took myself off by accident.
Yeah,
Uh, but I think I got the gist of. I got little bits and parts of what you're saying.
right.
Uh,
These women are getting notoriety. I don't feel sorry for these women. Umar Johnson's been around for a while. He has two baby mamas. How
at
do
least
you
three, at least
can't
three, maybe four.
3 or 4, yeah, and like you can't go back to his house, like you know what I'm saying. You see the guy and he's living in these poor conditions. He's always in a hotel. He can't commit to nothing. So how can he
Nothing.
commit to you? These women are just around him, chasing him, and for notoriety. And then when it backfires on them and he's ignoring them, or he can't get resources from them, or whatever they're trying to get out of it, then they come online and they expose him.
A lot of that's the big question. Big why? Why do women, more the modern ones, later ones, still stick around, more or less? Some people think it's pity. You know, some people maybe it's out of the guilt and stuff. Maybe some people were committed before, but he's had people around him who that were boisterous, that were attack dogs on his behalf, that are no longer to be heard from.
But they really wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like some of them, and I remember in the beginning, and you probably remember her too. She was always around him. You can clearly tell that she wasn't working with a full deck of cards anyway. Um,
Most of them
he
aren't.
he is people. The Let me tell you the draw that people have to Umar Johnson. The draw that they have to him is that some of the things he talks about they have experience or they know, either they, been diagnosed with something or they've been told they had ADHD and all that stuff. And they're drawn to what he's talking about because they really go against the science of it. They don't understand, you know. The one thing that bothered me the most is that people were scrutinizing his dissertation. They really didn't know what type
Yeah,
they really didn't know what the type of dissertation he was writing or what they don't know too much um about what it was, how it was, how it came about, how it was formulated. And two, that dissertation was around a long time ago and wasn't really put out.
right.
And now it's showing back up again. My thing is this: people are, especially our people, we we latch on to people that have say things that we find in some cases truthful or we find relatable. A lot of people can relate to Umar Johnson when he talks about mental health when it comes to those things, Ritalin, all that stuff. A lot of the information that he puts out is outdated. And
Yeah.
I think what happened with him is that the notoriety, the attention that he got went to his head so much. And then he ain't working with a full deck anyway. But and so people are latching on to him because if it's not him, it's gonna be somebody else. But I don't feel sorry for none of these women who is to this day coming out in droves talking about what Umar Johnson did. They're entertained by him. If they'll talk about him, but when they see him in person, they know he's charismatic a little bit. But women been falling for men like this for centuries. Like, he ain't no
True.
different from anyone else. The thing about it is that the schools is coming full circle. This will answer everybody's question about the schools. The schools that he has are labeled as manufacturing. He could never open up or bring children into those two buildings. Anything after that is just nonsense. People are just entertained by him. They give him money because they want to. He is not manipulating a truckload of people. Them people want to be manipulated.
True.
What do you
I
think about
think so. I think a couple things. At first, what is it then with the women? Is it the Are they taken by the charisma? Is it as simple as a social media presence? And it's a shame. I don't know if it's a shame, but it amazes me that this idiot is not getting paid anything monetized as often as he is online. Um, and how many social media accounts and stuff that he has. This guy would make a living off that already alone. If he put his mind to it. I don't know. You mentioned something earlier about some of the people that Umar attracts, like maybe they have a history of being diagnosed with this, that, the other, and perhaps through this, not to create victimization or anything like that, but maybe through the conversations of this and some of the things, the trigger words that he says for some of these people who think they were considered this at one point, now consider him a voice. And it's very tough. Like this name always keeps coming up. I know KKC or Nappy mentioned We on Lock guy that he's, going down with the Titanic, with the ship. Even amongst all the evidence and people coming out now in interviews and very widespread coverage of this, you know.
But
Um,
not to cut you off, but I did.
go
When
ahead,
you
go ahead.
mentioned We on Lock, right? We on Lock is from our sector. So when he was part of the Umar Johnson sector in the beginning. And one thing I could tell you about We on Lock is kind of like, and he might crucify me for saying this, but he's simple minded.
Oh
And
yeah,
he was simple minded even then. He is starstruck. He probably can relate to some of the topics. Like I said, I read the dissertation and it wasn't anything to me wrong with it per se, because I understand what is like, what he was doing there is,
okay.
it's written. And it's probably
And
outdated.
hold on there for a second. And you know that there's criticism that it's very close to a or could be plagiarized, half of it or so, with some
Yeah.
of the. Okay, okay, so you know that as well,
Yeah. But he
which
went to
I don't doubt much of.
right, but he went to college around the time that I did, and so depending on what college he went to, but back then when we were writing those things, like my in my degree, we were writing those kind of things too. Um, they used to run those things in that Turn It Up software. He
Turn it
cited
in, turn it in.
yeah, Turn It In. I always call it Turn It
Okay.
Up. Yeah, and they used to run it.
I thought you explained your college days. Over here. Turn it
Listen,
up.
it's been so long, you know what I'm saying? And turn it up, turn it around. I just remember it was like the beginning stages of when it came out. It came out, and
Yeah, I remember.
people were so worried it was all red, and then sometimes it was like if you didn't cite it the right way, it's still, because really people are just citing other people's sources to the point, the English language is not that heavily written. So like I could see that, I could see him, but he didn't write his dissertation for the public. Like he didn't write it. He wrote it
Okay, okay,
for a grade. Like he didn't say, in 2000 and I'm gonna go on a world tour with this information and this dissertation.
okay.
He did it for his class. So he did it for a grade. He did it to get a degree. Like,
But
I
it's the kind of thing, sorry, through the steps of education, bachelor's, you kind of get the general knowledge, the master's, you specialize, and then doctorate, you're supposed to apply it. So this should be kind of like your mission statement or something significant that you put out that you know others are going to resort to find out more about you.
right, but here's the thing. He went to a certain type of school because I went to school on the West
Why are
Coast.
you making excuses for this guy?
No,
What are you doing?
I'm not making excuses. What I'm saying, his dissertation looked like my capstone, and it wasn't at the PH level. Like I know people who went to school for like business math, right? And they went to like Everest College, and then I went somewhere else. Like I went to a 4-year college, and I'm like, that's not what I don't remember doing fractions in my class. So we don't even know the level of education that this man, like we don't know what level that college was on. He put that stuff together to, you know what I mean? So like
I get it. I get it.
right, so it's not even on the level that, and plus it's a PSY. It's not even a, you know what I mean? Like we could break it down. The difference is like I saw somebody, I've been documenting the comments and what people are saying and people who have PhDs. I've started to see at least 5 or 6 people that actually can tell the difference between um what he actually wrote as a PSY versus what a PhD would write.
Sure, sure.
So when they were breaking it down, I said, "Well, finally, somebody came under the in some academic people came in. They say, that's different from what y'all think it really actually is." And then it says for a grade at the bottom, stuff like that. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that because it is only like it's his research, his theories, what he came up with. He could have plagiarized, whatever, whatever. It
Uh,
it doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that he's a dickhead, that he's a actually psychopath, that he's
also,
yeah, and that he lies a lot. He's very deceptive. That he's he's doing this all for clout and fame. I saw that somebody gave Charlemagne Donkey of the Day because of Umar Johnson, because he hadn't talked about Umar Johnson, and he
Mhm.
said, "Oh, he's gonna be on the show. He's gonna be." So Umar Johnson is going to be on the Breakfast Club.
All right, update. I gotta get in there with one. So you
Okay,
do know he made a statement about something with Umar lately.
what did he say?
Uh, so he got more criticism. Charlemagne got more criticism on this because I think it was the Brilliant Idiots one, the stupid one with Andrew Schultz in there. But he said his disbelief was with the people. He goes, Umar did exactly what he said he was going to do. And why can't people see that sort of deal? Like he kind of laid it out and just this kind of glazed over it, but he favored Umar in that situation. So we got the criticism from that.
Yeah, but everybody knows that Charlemagne's an idiot. I mean, he ain't really that bright. And him, his damn self. They like controversy. It's just a show. Like, you know, you know how many views and clicks and people are gonna watch Umar Johnson on on that show when he shows up on there, because there's so much going on about him right now.
Yes, but do they owe a, is there a responsibility to the so-called community to address some of these things and play this charade nonsense that they're playing? Like, it's socially irresponsible. There's something about the just, okay, then they could never, they had presidential candidates on there, right? They had community leaders and preachers on there, Nation of Islam on there, talking about issues and everything that they're into. You're telling me that why are they so ignorant and blissful to this guy that has made multiple visits that I know about it? I might know social media, get everything late ass is aware of all the ongoings of this. Why is the resistance there? And what makes it okay that they could just turn a blind eye to this whole issue with Umar?
Right, but that's the same. These isn't these the same people that caused a controversy between the two ladies on the show, and then they had the big girl on there that was like they're they do
Wait,
anything.
you can't make a point on just having a big girl on there.
You know that big.
I know what you're the rapper. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I covered it. But that had nothing to do with. I can't go with you on that one. There's no reason why you should put that one in the
Listen,
mix. You can't stuff that one in there, man. I can't let you do it.
listen, Lackoff. When have they stood on anything? They don't tell nobody to boycott anything. Charlemagne
Oh, good
is
point.
wishy washy. He says one thing, then he goes another thing. He backstabbed the women on the show. He'll have men on
He's not
there.
a good dude. He's not a good dude. But you know
Exactly.
what? He didn't start out as a good dude with Williams. Remember, he was a little gopher, a little lackey in there, right? And they laughed at him. He was so much of a punk. He was a joke in that place. So I get that. He never started out from a place of integrity in the first place. But there has been a little bit of, besides all those things as well. I'm not giving you the big girl. I'll give you the war between the two women in there. That was very weird. But they, they know enough to do a half decent interview. Like I said, they had politicians in there at very important times to discuss very serious issues. So there's either something very personal or within the donations that Charlemagne just doesn't want to expose. And he shouldn't be able to just omit the information that he wants to admit from this sort of stuff.
Let me tell you something. I wish I would get my politician my news from Charlemagne and you know from they're just all of them ignorant to me.
True. Yeah, very much. And what's his name? Charlemagne is also I consider kind of sassy because he did all that slow stuff. Like he doesn't what I call in the past do shit. Right. He does questionable like, oh, that's gossipy. That's like dudes don't really do stuff like that. But he is very comfortable in that space. And of course that's the environment of the business that he's in. But there's a certain way to conduct. And he's
Wasn't
been more like one of the girls.
wasn't DJ Envy in a scamming controversy over some rental properties or
Right, with a
property?
homeboy of his. I think something might still be going on, not even so much with Envy, but the other dude. I think it's something in the news resurfaced with him.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so scamming stuff with that. Nappy again was showing some stuff. I actually just played Nappy stuff in the background. He addressed that because again, he was addressing the same topic. So went back to the point where Charlemagne got his ass beat a little bit for talking shit about Lil Kim. That's kind of the thing that he's known for. Being like talking shit, won't be able to back it up, pretend he got connections like that. But I think regardless, I don't know how we said this about the last interview. I don't know how he can show his face and we could have this fake interaction without anything being addressed. I believe at the very least, very least, uh, they'll have him on there and do the softball questions and allow him to dance over some of the stuff and not be accountable for any of the information. You know, that's how I feel like they're going to do that.
Oh, they're gonna do it again.
What a mess. What a mess those guys are to be doing such nonsense like that. Like
They only
flawed.
care about clicks and views.
Like for real. But again, I this is where you start questioning. If you know a thing or two about a thing or two, is uh, when when does the social responsibility kick in? There really should be something there, but of course, there's
They're
no.
gonna say they're gonna say people need to do their homework and their research. The guy, if they, before you donate your money or whatever, you need to find out. You need transparency. If the man ain't showing you where the money going, donations or whatever, then you shouldn't be giving your money to him.
What well, what's the one thing you could say of Charlemagne's refusal to even address any of the rumors? What do you think is the one thing? Is it something personal? Is it his belief in Umar? Why is he so resistant to speaking on? You don't even have to be committed to either side, but these are issues that are in the environment.
He probably got some ties to him.
Some personal investment also.
Mhm.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. He wants to, a lot of these guys try to get a foot in some stuff, see what works. Want to act like a philanthropist, all right. Also, and might be a good way to do whatever, to do a little bit of write-off. May not speak on it, but this thinking that you're so intelligent that the public's so stupid that you're going to maneuver around it is insulting. I mean, to some of the average ones, right? I mean, when we were talking about before, like people with not calling them completely stupid or out of it, but the people with a particular sort of deficit seem to be attracted to this big ball of mess.
Yeah, but if it's not him, there's a lot of people. It was like the guest that was on Lennon's channel, the guy that everybody was scrutinizing. He was like,
Jay Witt.
yeah, he's a mega supporter, right? and he votes against his own interests. He talks about, but he does it to they do it to make money. It's like a lick. It's like, they're I someone told me this a long time ago, this terminology. They're pompous jackasses. Okay.
Okay.
they
Yeah.
have they have a sense on looking down upon the people that they used to be, or they came from.
Mm.
And so for them to be superior, they talk down. Like that guy said something that was crazy. He said that having a black teacher does not guarantee your success in life.
I agree with that.
And that was the dumbest thing I ever heard. Like, to me, because it's like, bro, you're basically discouraging people from
I,
trusting. Well,
I'm not sure it's that. I know that argument, that debate. I don't think it's this, the debate itself. I don't think the question itself is as scrutinized as it should be. It's oversimplified. It's way oversimplified in the means of what we think the outcome is in education. It's tough to measure in certain ways. We like to think that, yeah, because there's somebody that looks like us, there's a face like us, there's
mhm,
some sort of ease. I think it works on particular levels. You might feel more comfortable in the environment in certain ways. I think what we think the outcome comes out to be is from a trickle down effect, not because anything is directly affecting the outcome. There's so many variables in between, as opposed to just having this black face. Everybody's got to be on code. Everybody's got to um, be cognizant of what the goals are and what the outcome, knowing that this is the thing that everybody's working towards. So I did a little bit. I'm a little bit familiar with that as well, and a lot of these questions come up. Does the black teacher even know the responsibilities socially of what they're doing and what their position is in the classroom? And I'll tell you a lot. Just because you're black anywhere doesn't mean you're on code and you know what's up. I think
right.
there's so many parts that
But
have to move to
but
for it to actually be effective.
but here's what you have to understand. So when I lived in a state, right, when I was growing up as a kid, and this is probably rare because it depends on where you live. When I grew up in Illinois, all my teachers were black, right? And then when I moved to the West, I went to a math science school, right? School that was math and science. And the assistant principal was black. We had Black American Studies. We had a Black American Studies. We had a Black art teacher. Then we had a Hispanic. I had a Hispanic science teacher. And when you grow up, you're not thinking about when you're a young kid growing around, like when all the teachers look like you, or you're not even thinking about, hey, this black teacher is teaching me. This black teacher, which they it's like
Right.
depends.
Okay.
Right. So that's like a false argument because you know why we have so many black teachers in that neighborhood that we lived in. So the first, being in Illinois, Illinois is segregated. When I was been growing up there, it was superly segregated. Though white teachers didn't want to teach those kids. So that's number one. Number two, when I lived in the West and I was going to that math science school, the reason why they had Black American Studies, they had all those things, is because we were next to the military base, and most of the people that was in that military base who were living there were black people. So they were soldiers and black women soldiers, men soldiers. So we had a very good athletic team. We had good science program, all of that. And black children don't grow up and say, "Hey, my teachers, I had a black teacher." We just assume if we see ourselves as a teacher, we have a black teacher. And you know what the stigma is that when you meet a teacher that teaches like a higher, more technical, skill, like technology, science, whatever, the one thing that they assume is that they are a coach.
Hmm.
They don't assume that
They're
they
on the
are,
academic level.
yeah, they're on an academic level. So this, it just depends on the area. It depends on um the level of understanding, your level of education. Yeah, there are a lot of bad teachers. It could be white, black, Hispanic, kids are very challenging nowadays. But what I'm saying is that when you're a young kid and you're going to school when you're a young age, the biggest thing for me was having, because I didn't grow up in that mindset where, I had a white doll and that doll was superior to the black doll. I grew up in like Illinois, like we were proud to be even poor black kids. You know what I mean? Like we had black dolls, we had black everything. So when I say this to say that, it just depends. It sounds like what happens to me is that you have these, because we're not monolithic. You have some black young men, black young women who went to school where they were like the token black kid, and it was only a few minorities at the school, and majority of their teachers were other races, and then it was like two or one black teacher at the school who's making this argument. That's what it seems.
Okay. And I'm not saying I'm saying it's more intricate. What's up, Tiz? Man, do the damn thing at work. We're here doing what we got to do, man. Thanks for checking in. Um, so a couple things with this. I don't deny that it does something. It does something consciously, and I'm sure it does something subconsciously. It ignites something, maybe just towards the presence of stuff. On the flip side of that, I will take what people refuse the school to prison pipeline. That's something I believe in, but I also believe it's not as intentional as people take it to be. That just because you do this together, the fact that people miss this in the argument, as they would miss in the argument with black fatigue and other things like that, they would misconstrue it. That there is a system in place that needs to be dismantled. That complacent people make it possible to have a school to prison pipeline. And on the flip side of this, of how things trickle down and affect that, I think it's on the flip side of this that because of what's um, revered as such a positive, good steps in relations. We're not just there for the presence or just to uplift the self-esteem for kids. We're supposed to see academic, and it goes without saying that some of these things will contribute to a student's self-esteem and well-being in that seat to be able to learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying it's such a sliver of fraction that it's not what people think it is to just have a black staff member, a teacher in here. I think when you're looking for that, I think you need certain qualities. I think actually, with how people make it such a priority and that there's policies around it, that there should be a handbook, a guidebook of particular studies to do that. But I don't think these things go far enough when they introduce because the general public is satisfied that these are the initiatives that we're making to put more black teachers or whatever in
I
classrooms.
agree. I agree with Emmanuel about the prison pipeline. Like, and I raised two male children in different generations, and I'm telling you, what makes that real. Like when they say by third to fourth grade, that's when you really kind of know.
Absolutely.
But third
Absolutely.
and fourth grade is usually the age where they might come across their first male teacher, like with a male. Like so, third they might have one fourth grade, one fifth grade teacher that's a male, and what typically happens is that um they will call on that male teacher to go to those classes and handle those kids, or they will
Right.
pull them out of class and put them in another class. But what I do see is that the punishment doesn't you know is not the same. So like for example, and I remember this because my son was in junior high school, and I just remember like the assistant principal, she was a lot more, you know, um extra when it came to him. But the thing about it is that without parent, um like
Intervention or involvement.
if you take your kid to school and then and they just come home from school and you ask them how they day going and you tell
Right.
them, listen,
Right.
don't don't be having this school call me. I don't want to hear nothing about what's going on. You got an assignment, ask your
Right.
friends. You need to do how your if you that kid has a more that kid probably has a will be heading in that direction. But when they see them parents show up, always there at the teacher conference,
Yes, I
helping
hear
the kids with the homework and doing those things, it kind of like changes the trajectory to those children. But like Emmanuel said, those schools don't have as much resources. And what I was telling somebody the other
So
day,
hang on for one sec. Hang on for one sec. And let me clear that up just in a couple lines here so you can get back to it. So I misspoke a little. I don't want to make the system completely innocent of anything doing. I'm saying, and yes, the system is made that intentionally. When you have, when you charge the kids more, when you get them more frequently and give them longer punishments and more harsher punishments, yes, that is intentional and stuff. I'm saying
yeah,
the part of the people, maybe liberals that work these sort of jobs that also think they're just doing, they're the cog in the system. They're just part of it. They're working. They're doing the best they can without seeing the bigger picture of what contributes to the school prison pipeline. So, like I said at the beginning, I believe in it. The only place I messed up is saying what's intentional. I believe there's certain aspects of it, but the average everyday person that's not reading white fragility or anything like this, uh, and black teachers too, are guilty of perpetuating the sort of system if they don't, if they just do everything at face value and not look into, the deeper meanings of things. That's all.
yeah, but it's all about resources too. It's like it's definitely related to resources. It's a known fact that if a school is surrounded by um if the school if it's a lot of renters, a low rent housing around that school, not too many business around that school is not going to get as many resources as a school, and will rely more on federal funding than a school where there's tons of businesses, homeowners
Well, yeah, it's
investing
done on
in
property
that
tax
school.
too for most
Right.
places. Right,
And
right,
and when those kids have those, when that's an option, like for example, sports are literally free, literally, you don't have to buy your kid a uniform, none of that stuff, because it's supply. Every kid gets a laptop.
right,
My
right,
son
right,
went to
right.
school where every kid got a laptop,
I
you
hear you.
know
I
so
hear
things like that. So it's really kind of like, the argument is, it's not just being like, it's hard to keep teachers nowadays. And a lot of
you.
times they no longer are seeking educators that have 4-year degrees in teaching. They usually are seeking educators who have some background in something, and then they are training them to teach. And that's what's going on now. A lot of that is going on now, where they have these people coming into the classrooms, and a lot of them are taking these jobs because there are no other jobs either.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a mixed bag. But what I'm saying is, what bothered me the most is when you have someone who's scrutinizing Umar Johnson for what he's doing, but he's perpetuating the stereotype of, because what a black teacher can't do for a black kid.
Right,
When it's like this, those black teachers are not just teaching black kids, they're teaching Hispanic kids, they're teaching white kids, and it
right.
depends on the
Wow, good
areas.
point.
Yeah, but
Right,
the thing,
that it's not it also expanding that trickle down effect is not just concentrating with the black students, that it's an experience for the other people in there too. Absolutely.
right, and then the thing about it is like mental illness. Like these
Yeah.
young people are suffering from depression at a higher rate showing signs of emotional disturbances, that they're being diagnosed with emotional disturbances. um they're not being Teachers are not telling them to be on medication or nothing like that. Parents are actually seeking those services out because they found out that their kid qualify for benefits and social security if they suffer from something. The classroom, there's not a one fit all system either. These kids are going to school with a one fit all system, overcrowded, and all those things. So it's a combination of a lot of things, but it's not just happening in in areas where it's predominantly black.
Right.
It's happening in black cultural areas, and in areas where there are kids that are predominantly white too. It happens there too because they're on those medications too.
Absolutely.
So, so what I'm saying is this: we can criticize Umar Johnson for his ideology of what he thinks about, black boys, but his thought process is not monolithic. He's talking about his experience and what he's seen, and probably personalizing it, if you ask me, because that's
A
what how
lot.
he. And so, what my issue with Umar is that you're lying, you're scamming, you're not going to build a school.
Dang.
Um, You're not building a school. You don't want people around you that can really help you out because you really just want to make money. He takes that money and he spends it as soon as he gets it. That's why he's begging for money now.
Absolutely. You live in the. First of all, does my thing have a microphone on it? Can you hear me like you were hearing me
Yeah,
before?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think my headpiece has a microphone. Because I was walking around with the phone, getting something to drink here. Um, yeah, he definitely. One thing that confirms that also is his bullshit story, explanation slash explanation about what was going on with his bank account. Most people caught the bullshit. How it's frozen. There's an investigation. How did you not know there's an investigation? Right? And what it's about. So all of a sudden, you've been there through a phone call. Like it's just too much contrasting information now to go all the way to some crazy spot. And he's looking crazy. He's looking crazy with these ideas and everything. It shows his desperation, right? There's nothing left with it. So I don't know.
You know, you know why the momentum about Umar Johnson started picking up again? It started picking up because his daughter was on
Daughter.
TikTok. And when TikTok is always a 30-second clip. So those young people started watching those videos of Umar.
Uh,
And then those young people, and I'm talking about the people in their 30s. And then when he started, and then when he made the clip about begging for money, that was so hilarious to them. They were going in, and that's where his momentum came from again. Because all this
oh,
stuff, yeah, all this stuff, we talked about this a long time ago. This is nothing.
ah, true. Okay, yeah, with that TikTok thing. Think
Yeah,
about that.
TikTok is like, have you ever been on TikTok before?
I have an idea of what it does or what it is.
Well, TikTok is just like these shorts that you see on here, right? Um, the difference is that these young people really think that they can know something in
Uh,
30 seconds. They really do. Like these young people can look at an 8-second clip and think they can philosophize
okay.
philosophize on all these different things. And so that's what was happening. Because I remember I was over there and I used to see Umar Johnson's clips. And what they used to do was it
Is
would
he
be
on there?
he's his a lot of his clip videos are on there, but it ain't the ones where he's saying crazy stuff. It's like they're using him like if a
Okay.
guy is with the like if a guy is like staring at a white girl's booty or something, then you'll see his face, and then he'll
Oh, that's where some of that comes from.
that's all. That's where a lot of his
Okay.
yeah, that's what he was showing. And so then what happened is
Okay.
when AI started, a lot of his AI videos are over there too, because they AI'd him up over there. And so the
Nobody
young
loves.
Yeah, so when his daughter started showing up on TikTok, the young people started seeing it and they started seeing who he was. Because I know some people that would be like, dang, he say some good stuff. And I said, well, go over YouTube and you'll see that video of him getting that phone call and his phone ringing. So that made it over to TikTok too, and the young people was laughing. It
Ah,
was hilarious. So then all of a sudden he's begging for this money, and he sound like he full of shit, and so that's why he's back making his rounds again.
his rounds, but he never really leads. You
Yeah,
know, it's one thing from another. Like I said, if he were any little bit serious about conducting, my office would have been in the school. Out of all the construction, everything they do, and they could have cut out a little office where I could run legitimate,
he
productive business on site. Because
he
one of the
can't
first, what do you mean you
he
can't?
can't because those buildings are not designed for that. They can't even have a water source. I wish that this guy didn't leave the sector, but
I'm just saying, for a few hours a day, set up shop over
you
there.
he can't do it. Look, I'm trying to tell you, those built like I remember when I was, part of Max V's channel, whatever. And this brother came up there. It was two brothers who lived in that area. They worked in a profession where they deal with those types of plans and buildings and all that. And they said that those buildings will never be um used. There's zone for manufacturing. They're not zoned for what he's trying to use. There will never be zone for that. He will never have that. For he can't do business out of those buildings and nothing like that. So he just
I
playing around.
understand it's like a brown zone, whatever it's supposed to be. So
Yeah.
you could set up shop, you could set up camp, some sort of thing you could do. Even Lucy did it from Charlie Brown. Have some sort of stand, table that you could function off of. Like, this is where I be.
As Nappy Yankee, when he went out there and he panned out,
I
and
saw
then
that also. I saw
and
that
then
also.
there was like another school. There was like a school where all the kids go to in that area, in that neighborhood. You're not finna bus in
The Boys
kids.
and Girls Club.
Yeah, there's a boys and girls club, and then there's schools where all those kids are going to, and and they don't even really know who he is over there. Like,
Nope. No, no, they don't.
so the point is, he bought those two buildings as a front. He got them for dirt cheap. He was going to use them to live out of, and listen, the water. I'm surprised he don't have an extra. He ain't got cancer yet or something.
Something growing out, some appendage
Yeah.
going on, some Mr. Burns third eye goldfish swimming out the pond. Like, definitely. And I get what you're saying, but anyway, if it's not that website, my brother, how this dude doesn't, and obviously even less than I am, he's not tech savvy or anything. To even have that sort of mind, I couldn't. Because let's face it, he has no records, he has no plans, nothing
This
like that.
this is what Umar should do, right?
But
He
hold
should.
on. He should have his website, and on his website should be divided on two sides, man. The the left side, the booking, the fundraising, how's that going? Even have one of those thermometer things where the price goes towards the goal, like that sort of shit. And then on the right side, pure FDMG stuff, and just do it that way. He could have easily set that up.
I got blocked. I got sent to the block party in the Book of Negroes because I was on his IG, and I asked him while he was live. I asked him which software is he going to use to because he was talking about doing the online school, right? So I said, what software are you going to use to set up this online school, and do you need any help? And he sent me right to the block party. Now that was a long time ago. So what he should do is,
Because he saw your avatar. Like I'm not messing with that smart ass.
Man, no, that wasn't my avatar back then. See. So
Uh,
but no, but he sent me to the block party. You know what I mean? Like I haven't been able to see him on IG ever since he blocked me. But I was asking a real question. I was like, he's like, no, I'm blocking you. Because I was like, well, I know people that can help you, but he's not computer savvy. No, oh, I know why you blocked me. Because I asked him, I said, how you gonna set up a online class when you don't even own a computer? You sit on your phone all day.
and you wonder why blocking that would be a little smart ass. Block. I got in his from his perspective, I can see how a block party would come from that. Absolutely.
Is it? I'm just saying, like, it don't even make any sense. You barely know how to work iPad. He was over there struggling, so it was like, you
Hmm.
know, my thing is that he can't be a comedian because he'll get booed. Like if he try to be funny,
He doesn't have the temperament. Right, right.
right? If he tries to be funny, he it ain't gonna work. So he needs to just do what he doing, and people just let people book him, so he can sound crazy and just make money. Like he can make money legitimately. People will just pay him to say dumb shit and repeat himself a bunch of times.
Why the hell can he not be monetized? Did he fuck up that bad? Is the thing
No,
because it's
because
like
he doesn't run those channels like that. Somebody is uploading that
uh,
stuff for him.
uh,
That's why
but he goes live. He goes so you got to have followers,
he goes
right?
live on he goes live on Instagram and Facebook. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not tech savvy. He thinks he knows a lot about nothing. He doesn't understand. He doesn't want to hire somebody to market him and do any of those things. He wants those
Oh
things
yeah.
for free. And the people in the conscious community, if all you got to do is find you a group of people that burn sage and don't wear deodorant and and
Mhm.
sell
I
knickknacks,
say, I say.
and they're gonna go along with what he say. So you know what I mean. And then like when he was in Africa, people in Africa, are friendly. Like you sit down and eat. Everybody eat together. So they
Right,
just see him as a celebrity because he be out
right.
here saying all this goofy stuff. So, like I said, if it ain't, listen, it, if Umar Johnson came out of that conscious community thing, people, there's gonna always be people like him. He just right now it's just Umar Johnson. It could be somebody else. If you give your money to Umar Johnson, you a fool. That's all I gotta say. Now, if I
What
could
to
figure out
do?
if I could figure out a way to legally get their money too, I would probably would do it too. I'd be like, hey, but I wouldn't use it the way he using it.
Understood, understood. But I don't
how
know.
you
There's
feel
something
about
that people have hope of.
how you feel about Amanda Seals slapping all those people?
All right, so let's transition a little over to the Amanda Seals. First, she kind of annoys me a little bit because anybody that tries to hand out life lessons, but they're on the brink of being emotional, and it's okay to be emotional, once in a while, or passionate, I should say, a certain amount of passion for it. But I want to see a more mentally stable individual more often than not with that consistency with battling. So,
Oh, oops.
well,
That
no.
was
So
that was my
kudos first for her. I guess somewhat keeping it together. Besides having the whole annoyed thing going on, like she was, with that. So I don't love her. I don't really care to see her speaking on anything because she can't keep it together. She's a bit of an academic snob, even though she has some credentials. They're not the best credentials. She's not the best in her field. She did some studying and she got her degree for it. Now, I I'm not even sure if it was a fair. They say one of the guys. I basically watched the reaction from Nappy Yankees channel. Um, People were younger, a little more
No, you
closed-minded
just
and one-sided between things that they believe. They obviously didn't have a whole bunch of experience yet.
no, you just saw the two young people. You didn't see the older fat brother, and you didn't see that the other dark skinned brother. They were older, and they didn't know what
Oh,
the hell
okay.
talking about. And I
Okay.
made sure to I do have them all clipped up individually.
Okay. Listen, if you
But
need to put it on, we can put it on, but
here's what I want to say. Amanda Seals gets on a lot of people's nerves, and I've never been like I'm not one of her supporters where I listen to her. But I in that interview I learned one thing about her that just was kind of blew me away. So what she said was her father is an academic and her mama is from Grenada. And she basically said that it wasn't like she came from um like her father was a deadbeat or anything like that. He just didn't want to be a parent. He didn't want to parent her. Amanda Seals has father issues. And I just came to it just dawned on me. I said, that's what it is. The one person that she wants to impress the most and show that she's something to, the
okay.
one person that she wants to him to know she knows all these things, she can't get him to listen, and that's her father. So all her
Trying to fill a
issues,
void.
right, all her issues with men and the way she behaves is surrounded by that. Now, as for so take her character out of it and just look at what happened. So she had different people that were conservatives who did not understand black history, our history, or what we've
Yes.
experienced, what we've been through, and why we are in the position that we were in. And that was telling. You had a brother up there that was talking about Harriet Tubman. See, you missed that guy. He would let me see if I as I'm talking, if I can cue that bad boy up. But
I think
as
I saw a part of that. There are
yeah,
several.
that brother that had on the beige outfit or whatever, he just didn't know what he was talking about. It's like you have these black individuals who've been told their whole life. I swear to you, this is a thing. There are black people and then there's the N-words, and you guys are different. You're not like them people. You're not like them. And that's what she was dealing with. She was dealing with black people who wanted so much acceptance from
Yes.
the
Yes.
the white race.
Tatum's and
Yeah,
Hodge and
yeah,
Kansas and those people.
yeah.
There's a
Well,
couple things.
yeah. So
There's a couple things with that too. Like once you're saying, um, people don't even have the history. Like the system successfully did what it was supposed to do with this demographic, which is have them believe the hype, right? That oh, look at black people. They shoot the talking points that they all go to. They shoot each other. There's no father in the household. Is all that stuff that at least when I saw the clips, they were doing the usual talking points about black and perceived black culture and all of that stuff. That is that's history of what they're doing. This coincides with Donald Trump uh, taking out the history from the Smithsonian because he says it makes white people look too evil. So he's reducing the slavery stuff because the type of people that this is working for, these are the same people that try to distinguish, like one of the guys that couldn't tell you the difference between the severity of a slave versus or immigrants as not being in the same groups. He couldn't differentiate that, and this is what the curriculum, things like what's this idiot in Florida? Santino, whatever the hell his name is, now reducing the social science curriculum, bringing it up only to the Civil War. After the Civil War is what history classes are trying to learn now, and they're trying to water down the history, and they are being successful at infiltrating these minds of people who don't have to, are not going to do the work. They're not going. I remember growing up, man, Holocaust up the ass without any regard. It took me between what my father used to teach or suggest or try to have discussions to know that black people even had some sort of worthy um,
They
merit for compassion.
they
Meanwhile,
didn't
we're crazy about this Holocaust all up and down and just
they
stepping over
didn't
slavery like it's nothing.
they didn't teach it. They didn't teach it in school because if you remember when Roots came out, that's when black people, like a lot of people, started, celebrating and the freedom and slave back in the day. Like my auntie's like 70 something years old, and she'll tell you, she's like, when Roots came out, everybody was in front of their TV and they was, and the people that read the books and talked
Mhm.
about it, they knew about it. But I'll just tell
Sure.
you this: it wasn't really taught in schools. When I was in school, in high school, and they were trying to get us to read Sounder and Huckleberry Finn.
Right.
We,
Those things they wanted, the material they wanted you to know and
yeah,
shape.
we read Time to Kill. Remember Time to Kill? Who was
A
in.
Mockingbird, To Kill a Mockingbird,
Yeah, we read those. So
all that
you from
stuff.
our
Yeah.
generation. So we read books where the white man was the savior.
Disney. It was Disney slavery.
Yeah, it was like, no, the white man was the savior because in the Killing a Mockingbird, really, it was surrounded by this white man and the
No,
kids.
that's what I'm saying. It's like a Disney.
Right,
It's not the
right,
real
and
deal.
it, right, and he was representing a black guy that was, what I mean. It was a lot of those movies was like that. Remember with Time to Kill, they made a movie out of that with Samuel L. Jackson. Remember they raped his daughter and then he went on trial. you know, like
Come on.
they made
Don't get
all
me
these.
started on Samuel L. Jackson. All right.
No, but
I
they
did
made
it and
all.
I did it and I do it again.
Yeah, they made all these movies.
I'm a fan, but I can't. Once he gets
But
in the conversation, I just
right,
Samuel L. Jackson.
but a lot of my history and a lot of my understanding of us came from my parents. My parents,
Right.
yeah. So in our generation, if our parents were sound individuals and they was making sure that we learned everything. Our book reports. If our teacher sent us home with a book report and we had to write about something, we were writing about something that was black. So that is just the culture. But nowadays, these kids barely read, and then when they
Hold
do
on,
read, yeah,
just before you continue with that, I get it in a way like this because I remember this in high school. You know, my dad is a funny dude, man. Uh, he's very from a distance, kind of private. You know, dry sense of humor, obviously, like me. But you know, he's not like Cosby dad or anything like this. Good enough. But one of the things I got this assignment, I think the science teacher gave us a list of 10 scientists, and you were supposed to select one and do your research on that. My dad one day just happened to be looking over my shoulder, always trying to make me study, but I wasn't, although I was finding extra shit to do. But he saw the list. You know, my dad is kind of like a sciencey guy, so that was the one thing he looked like, oh, what do you got to do here? He saw the list. He just said one thing before he walked away, which was, I bet there's a black scientist, you know, somewhere around there. Kind of walked away, and it made me curious. And I actually looked up Garrett A. Morgan, and I did that poorly. I didn't even do a good job with it, but I submitted that instead. And it's little things like that, like what you're saying. If you grow up and you're nurtured in some sort of environment of awareness, you know, you think a different way. As we're, we got some bobblehead parents that aren't passing down this knowledge or bringing it within the responsibility of the household. Like, this is the stuff you need to know about our tribe before you go out in the world. You know, these are some of your essentials in here. You know, so I totally get what you're saying, and I had sort of an example like that growing up also. You know,
I just remember, like, it doesn't make any sense. for us to teach our kids that, yeah, when slavery was this, like I taught my kids about. I told, when they got a little older, I started, telling them little, things, like I explained to them about the Devil's Pool in
Mhm.
Mississippi, the Trail of Tears, things, like historical events and facts and things like that. I took them to, events, museums. I had to watch show, anything that I could find to kind of give them a slow understanding of what happened, you know, those many, like it,
Like what being black is.
right. Yeah,
Right.
like I told my son, I was like, your grandparents is like one generation away from the Jim Crow, and then before Jim Crow, and here's segregation, and then right there, with segregation, then you had slavery, like right there, like that's how
Right. Right. Right.
close
Right.
it. I mean, generations away from it, we are. I was explaining to my son about, because he always talking about being a millionaire, and I'm like, did do the math, like, we're in the United States, it's the percentage of blacks are like 12% compared to this, many people, and then look at neighborhoods, look at areas, look at all these different things, and see where you want to get in. Sorry, my
Right.
dog. But what I'm saying is that she ate up those young men, those young men, them older men, and she ate up that one sister that was from Chicago, talking about she wanted her kid to have the American dream, but she didn't know what the American dream was.
Right. 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 And a lot of these are cliche, just saying that
Yeah,
that are embedded in people's brains, but when they break it down, they don't know the other side of it. I was talking before, saying that I believe there's that type of individual who lacks that type of knowledge, for those reasons, or anything too that allow them to go along with the system that is, being erasing history right before our eyes and reshaping it, quite frankly. So this is what it produces, these types of people. And like I was saying before, we're not all on code. I find a lot of people that I talk to, and obviously talking to a lot more people doing this as well. Some people just you take for granted that they know, like you should know this stuff. There's certain other than just Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, you should know some intricate stuff. Do the work for yourself, and kind of like what you're saying there, Emmanuel, and what you're saying about it is we've had those. One of those guys that exemplifies that, a famous dude like Dave Chappelle, shows that he's the product of having parents that instill values of being a black person in society through him. So there's that. I also think there's a different kind of black person. And this person, where we discuss black fatigue, where it's supposed to be the fatigue of mitigating and challenging a lot of these situations that sort of come up versus you're just tired of hearing shit, you know. But I also think a sort of fatigue are people that aren't strong enough to be black, to answer and stand up when because it is tiring work to be it just to be an upstanding individual and be the person that you're supposed to be in life. But on top of having the black question and issue and diaspora as well, is you have to mitigate, you have to involve yourself in situations without the common knowledge of why certain things are wrong or right, or why you don't seem like a lunatic because you have this inclination to identify a lot of these things out here too. And I think there's certain people like your Officer Tatum and stuff that tuck tail and run the other way instead of standing firm and being like, well, the reason why things are the ways that they are versus black people are just crazy, they don't know how to act, blah, 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 blah. They don't mention what we were saying before, the socioeconomic stuff, the intentional actions of leaving out resources and things that aren't fair and things. They don't look at these finite or these details that affect the statistics that they're so willing to throw in your face, right? And there's this population that rather not stand up, be black, and tell people what they need to be told versus doing the history, being strong enough with their information and being to combat, which again, this is black fatigue. If you're a person on the road, out there, you're facing different cultures. So if you got to set people straight all the time, especially at work, if you want a certain dignity, you don't want to be treated like a second class citizen, you got to be armed up with the information that you should have because and not to yell, not to look like a some sort of lunatic or something like that because you could extinguish any of the nonsense around you and set somebody straight. Black people have to be armed like that versus accepting the rhetoric that these white people are telling you why these falsehoods of why things are the way they are and you going along with it and being like, yeah, we are. This is why we're bad because you're not doing the homework. So the other half of that are people to me that refuse to do the work, refuse to look elsewhere, only take one side of the information, and it's too hard for them to be, particularly a black person in this country with the history and the oppression that they face without saying that. Because then you have other idiots like Navarro, you got this other one where they're trying to tell you that everybody else was a slave or Indians had it bad, that black people, they try to measure and water out the significance and the suffering of what people went through, right?
Mm.
So I think there's very much those type of people, and that's the way that I put it, that they're not strong enough to really be black because it's more than just doing your stuff well. It really is you have to educate others on a regular.
Well, here's the thing: if parents want to talk about racism, all they gotta do is go on Hulu and watch Katrina. The last two episodes explains everything.
Is
Like
that Spike Lee's Katrina?
no, not Spike Lee Katrina. That's on Ryan Coogler's Katrina.
Okay.
It's on yeah, it's on Hulu and it's
Who you
like
said?
Ryan.
All right.
He did Katrina for National Geographics.
Okay. Okay.
He did longer, keep him at
Did
the
you
top of
happen
the
to see Spike Lee's?
nope, I didn't see that
He,
one.
he did a pretty good job.
Mm.
Pretty good job. It was like at the time like a four CD set or something like
Yeah,
that on Katrina and stuff. So
this
I'd like to
this
see what this
one,
guy does with it.
he Ryan is the one that did Sinners.
Yeah, yeah, I know who he is, and that's why I'm kind
Yeah,
of interested on what
yeah.
he's in
He
for.
just a documentary. It's like a National Geographic documentary. He interviewed some of the people that were affected by it, but the last two episodes were like really the like cut really kind of broke down what was happening because it was basically you know a lot of people don't know this, but the mayor Ray Nagin, he's in prison right now.
Chocolate City. I didn't know he was in jail. Like
Yeah, he's in prison.
seriously,
Yeah, he's in prison for like
I didn't know I
corruption.
knew that.
Yeah, he got 10 years.
How many
And it
years?
was related to Katrina, 10 years.
Jeez. Katrina corruption. I mean, I don't doubt it. He didn't seem like an altogether there
Right. Yeah,
guy.
it was the corruption he was arrested, locked up for wasn't even related to Katrina. He was just a corrupt. Yeah, he was a very
Uh,
corrupt person. He they because people don't know this, but those levees kind of like broke before,
yes.
and so they knew that it couldn't handle like the category 5 ever in life, so they had put together a plan on how to get like they already was supposed to put this in action, and he cut the funding for it.
And they believed in some time that they intentionally broke the levees sometime during Jim Crow as well.
Nah, yeah, but they didn't break the
Spike
levees.
Lee covered that. Spike Lee covered that. Yeah.
Yeah, they really didn't break that. Well, I was there in March, and like you could still see remnants. The only thing is I didn't get to go down to the Ninth Ward where it really was the worst,
Yeah.
but you could still see like remnants of it. You could see how high the water was.
Yeah.
The levees are still they're not, their design is flawed because it's the wetlands are being or the wetlands was a natural way to protect New Orleans, but it's racism. It's like those people were trying to get to other cities, trying to get across that bridge to go somewhere else, and they would not let them leave.
Right. Right.
There's a lot of things that was happening. So it was, like I said, like racism, is when you can clearly see that they were picking the group of people to help. Even the military was, and then they classified those people as um like people were just going crazy, and they wasn't doing none of that. They was sitting there patiently waiting, trying to, get help.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
crazy. They were them, and they I seen another documentary where they locked some of those a couple of them officers up because they were going around there shooting people and beating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
There
was
was some of
crazy.
that show
So
as
they don't
well.
go back far to explain racism. Just do Katrina, and then they got a documentary about Texas when Texas had that freeze. There was a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
racism.
Yeah.
Got to be in Houston.
Yeah. I remember when a little thing about that in the news.
Yeah, are they gonna put those two events in the Smithsonian?
I mean, isn't that amazing? They're reshaping history right in front of our damn faces and stuff here
Yeah,
too. I wonder, Emmanuel, if you've seen, did you also see Four Little Girls from Spike Lee as well about the
yeah, I
church
seen that
bombing?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that was crazy. Good
You
detail for
don't have to go far. You don't have to go far. But the problem is that these young people, these young black males, these young people, if that's not a 30-second clip, they're not watching it. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and that's the thing. It's like, what we can, we gotta like, and I was telling like my friend this. I said what we should do is put all this stuff as 30-second clips on those channels. You know what I mean? And hopefully they see it. These young people see it so they can continue on passing down these stories. But I'm just saying, it's like they're not reading about it. They're not, they're watching reality shows. Like, we didn't have reality
right.
shows back then. We had sitcoms.
And
So
what's dangerous is you have guys like who was with Amanda Seal that was like, there's no racism, doesn't see anything, doesn't believe in systematic this, that, or institutional. You know, you have people like this because they haven't done the work, but they're so willing to be a loud ass mouthpiece to reject any notion of anything. It's amazing to me.
I think those guys were clout chasing. I think they
I
wanted
think
to
so.
go on there and they wanted to go up against her. And then if you paid close attention, there were people that wasn't even trying to get up. That's how scared they was of her. They didn't know what they thought they were gonna get emotional. They thought they were gonna get an emotional Amanda Seal. They did not
Right,
get the academic one version of her, because
right,
she
right,
over the place. But they got that, and I think that guy that was saying all that stuff, I think he's a content creator, and he's just like the Hodge twins. They say the opposite so they can get money. They believe that they're doing the Lord's work. That when these people pay them to say negative stuff about black people, that they're getting retribution. Like, that's how they justify it.
right, right, right. It's all very, but again, it's another example of how uh, opposites and separated we are. You know, and a lot of it goes through trying to water down and rewrite history versus let's work together and come with this. There's such a denial with Black people. There's such a denial, an effort to blame the victim of the oppression versus everybody else gets sympathy, the world step in and whatnot. It's because the world didn't come in and America itself didn't actually condemn the acts of um, what the country did, right?
Hmm.
So these guys are clowns, and they come in focused with their very direct but cherry picking certain parts of information of that. And the worst part of it is following the mantra about what's not proven, but everybody hears and nobody challenges because that's the way that they do that. Please set up to raise. yeah, I'm surprised she where you shouldn't be because she's an adult or whatever. But based on that, you've seen from her, all this stuff. To even Tyrese, like, dude, you cried once, a couple times. You got your feelings out there. No judgment. We all break or whatever. But it can't be a thing every goddamn week, man. So I'm just glad she came there and kept it together and really zoned in on concise answers and she could be less annoyed with it, but it is what it is.
I'm gonna throw out a term for you. You heard the term social engineering, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of this is social engineering. I
Ooh.
think that they put a lot of things out and then they wait for a response. And I think that we do it naturally because sometimes when I watch a video, I go and read the comments.
Wait, are you talking social engineering as opposed to the conversation itself, or the setup all the way from Jubilee, what they are poised to do?
Right. Right. Yes, I believe so. I think like in social, a lot of the things that we're watching, a lot of the stuff, like even the Tate and all of them, it's a lot of social engineering because it's a lot of false information being put out there. And then what I like to do is I like to go read the responses, right? And I take it one step further, right? I try to click on the account to see
I
how
get blocked all the time.
old the account is responding, or does the account have any identifying information, like for example, why all of a sudden this person is responding to DL Hughley, but this
Hmm.
account was made like a week ago.
Okay. Okay.
Or so like I'll see what the size of each coin, right? And so then I'll start reading some of the information, and then I'll start reading what I like to read the comments, but take it one step further, and I'm like, some of these are fake accounts.
Wait,
And with
and that I can't even tell what's real anymore, really.
And so with the Jubilee stuff, right? When people were giving commentary on it, I started clicking on some of the accounts that were making like racist statements, like making comments, and they were not black people at all. And then when I would look and see how old the account was, like you have to, you really would have to be in your mind thinking like, hey, let me go over here and create this account real quick so that
Hmm.
I can make a comment on here. So I think a lot of that is social engineering. I think it's designed to sway people one way or another, or to measure the direction of how people are thinking. Um,
Right. And
right,
going along with that, what you're saying too, is sort of like just throwing spaghetti on the wall. She's just seeing what sticks also. They know a percentage of the people are going to be like, this is bullshit. It's not going to affect me or whatsoever. But there's got to be a main portion of their target audience where they know that much sticks with them.
right. And then you got people that suffer from forms of some form of psychosis, or on some type of spectrum. I can't tell what it is, but I know it's something that's not really real, because I was watching. I watched a few of these Jubilee ones, and I went back to the ones where they had a doctor and they had these vaxxers, people that were anti-vaxxers, and they had one guy. He was very intellectual, and like he really was, but he was emotional. I guess he didn't want his kids to be vaccinated, but the wife did, and so the judge went along with what the wife wanted. But there was a lady, and she was just sounding crazy. She was like, how come? And a doctor said, and there's a lot of people that's like that. And imagine like that person, is like your neighbor, and they're like,
Right.
processing things, you know, and there's she the way she was moving her body, you could tell she has some form of mental illness. And
Mhm.
the way she was manipulating her body, and she was just like, her eyes were all like, you'd be thinking she was on drugs. And it's like they vet these people, and it's just like when they started with them reality shows, I used to ask like, where are they finding these people at?
And
Those
these
people.
people are out there. They work in places. They function at a job. Some of these places,
Yeah.
people. poorly and like they're the oddball out, but they're out there that believe these weird things that are very socially awkward and stuff that live in their own bubble, man.
And then the other question is, where are these people getting all this money? Because I every time I was watching a channel, and it was like it was one of them channels where it was a black guy, of course, anti, pro Trump, anti, making these anti statements, and then people were like cash apping them and sending them, super chat. And I'm gonna tell you something, that there's a trick to this whole super chat stuff.
Okay.
I've seen where they'll have somebody in the chat that they know send a large super chat, or a few people that they know. Now they're all working in conjunction with that content,
Mm,
and then people see that, and they'll see,
like that boxing.
a super chat war. Yes, that happens a lot. And
Mm,
there's a couple of content creators, like I would tell you exactly, because you know who this is. One of these people are that's what happens. That's what were happening back then. So now when you see them, you don't see those bigger super chats anymore. You see like the smaller ones, but it's
mm,
like people feel like, okay, I want my comment read. I seen a content
mm,
creator that said that only super chats that are $10 and more are actually read.
mm.
Like he literally just said it straight out. He was like, I only read like you can send all the super chats you want to, but if it's not a certain amount, I'm not gonna recognize it.
Jesus, that is a Umarest for crying out loud.
There's a lot. There is a lot of people. I seen a content creator that I used to follow that was funny, because one thing about California and LA is that when those vines started coming out, you would always see these content creators with each other. And I
Mm,
always say, like, if you're from California, if you've been in California, you know that they all stay in like a 2-bedroom apartment together,
right,
living,
right.
because the rent is so high. That's why you see them all the time doing content. So some of them got big, and some of them, just still were scragglers. I seen one say that he had a heart condition. He had an oxygen on his nose, and he was trying to do a GoFundMe. Now, this brother I used to see in the gym all the time, all
Mm,
the time. I said I ain't never seen a person who had a serious heart condition post a video of himself with oxygen under his nose, talking about, this came out of nowhere, and people are like, "Oh my God, it's crazy." Then the next time he gets all this support and money. And I'm telling you, that's why
mm,
Umar Johnson is successful, because there's a lot of people that follow this playbook. They start out with good intentions. They start out doing content, but when they start seeing them cash apps, and they start seeing them super chats, and they become monetized, this becomes the lick. This is easier money for them.
right,
It's
right.
easy, fast money, but it's easy money for them. And I'm telling you, you're seeing it everywhere. You're definitely seeing a lot of social engineering, and you're seeing a lot of like just manipulating and hustling to try, and you're not seeing these people want to work regular jobs. I'm seeing people trying to like I still can't figure this out to this day. How are you signing up for daily pay? What kind of bills you got where you can get paid daily?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, who you live with? Because I know rent is not a daily pay situation like that, Yeah. But there are people that be like, oh yeah, I get daily pay. You know what I'm saying? I worked 8 hours today. I made 100 and something dollars. I'm like, what?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spending your money, like, as every day they come to work. So it's kind of sad, but this week, just pay attention when you see somebody make a comment that you disagree with, or you just kind of was interested in. You
Mhm,
go down and start reading the comments, but don't just
mhm.
read the comment. Click on the account behind the comment. See what they post. See how long the account been there.
A
You
rebel
gonna be
rouser.
surprised,
Right. Right.
you
I
know.
hear what you're saying.
Or you see a person getting cash app and you say, this is Umar Johnson's playbook 101. He's not the only one.
And the minute you start doing a comment back or engage or anything, you fed into it.
Yeah.
Fed into the nonsense. Yeah. Yeah.
But the people that really be arguing with you because you disagree with the way, it's like, I'm not trying to convince you to believe in Umar Johnson's school. I'm telling you that he's just full of shit.
Yeah.
You know, you're the one trying to convince me that these things are really going to happen. And I'm telling you, you don't need to convince me. I'm not going to donate money to him. I
Yeah.
have no intentions of giving him any. You could give him the kitchen sink, but it's not going to stop me from saying
And that's
he's.
so weird about that, where there's no confidence in it because I don't know. This is one of the first leaders where if you're not into something, most people will be like, all right, you're not into it. But same deal. They try to come up with the little talking points to try to convince you of why you're wrong versus why they might need to look into a few things.
I used to be in like that's how I came in the sector, the Umar Johnson sector. I used to be on those two channels that were they said was his channels, but he wasn't really running them. And I used to just ask people in the comments, like, you don't know. I said, that's not true. That information he provides outdated. I said they don't give young people Ritalin. They don't even give Consorta anymore. Like they had already moved to a whole new set of drugs already. I said this stuff is behind. I said you needed Umar Johnson to tell you that you need a representative to support your kid and their behavior. I said, did you read the big that they get? Like I used to come at them like tough, and they would
Yeah.
be like, "Oh, you hate black men." I said, or they'll be like, they always say something like, "You probably be kissing the white men's at like, like, what does that got to
Yeah.
do with
Yeah.
anything?" You know,
And then yeah, then you're going down, I don't know, rabbit hole or whatever territory here, where it's just like, who is the idiot on the other line? Could be anywhere from a little kid or just some guy slapping the keyboard. you know?
oh no, if you don't know who he is, then you ain't been in this sector that long.
Okay, okay.
Seth Marie, because he's worse than we on lock.
Oh, no way.
You know who Seth Marie is, right? Oh my God.
No.
Umar
Uh-oh.
Johnson
Do they have
never
another name?
been wrong. No, his name is Seth Marie. He Umar Johnson can never do anything wrong. He could be looking at Umar Johnson stealing out. He was like, how do we know that that's Umar Johnson's daughter? We don't know that's Umar Johnson's daughter. And she said, he's saying, and then Omar comes out later, and then he's like, "Well, you don't know what's happening in the household. The mother. It could be the." And it was like he kept just moving the ball and moving the ball.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, Seth Marie, he is way worse than Umar Johnson. And I mean, then we online, and he still be giving his money to Umar.
amazing.
Yeah,
What
then we
is
were like,
that?
"How much money you gave Umar?"
Did they never believe in anything or know like learn anything else? How is this? It just begs a whole bunch of
Yeah,
questions.
because they're doing the same thing that he is. That's what it is. They're deadbeat dads.
Mm,
They have baby mama issues.
mm,
They have a problem with their mama. They have a problem with their father. It be something so trivial
right, right.
that, yeah, just like the men in the manosphere. They all, like, I heard this one guy, he was explaining why he didn't get along with his mother, and his mother kicked him out at a young age, and he, he had to learn, to do XYZ. And my question was, what would make your mom kick you out to the point where your father said you had to go because the mother lived with the father? Why are you mad at your mother, but your father was in the house too and said, well, she wants you to go. And then
Mhm, mhm.
like, why you don't have, why your dad didn't advocate for you? You know, your dad wanted you out of there too. And then he turned around and said his grandma, she made it where the grandmas, wouldn't let him stay there. And I said, oh no, this has got to be bigger than that. Ain't
Yeah,
all
yeah.
all these people that you close to is so scared of your mama. She's the reason why. And you can't stay with none of these people in your family, no relative. And you know what I realized? I said, you know what he probably did? He called his mama a bitch, and that's all it took.
That's the what they're saying with Umar is that he couldn't get along, couldn't respect, like they had to let him go. That's why he went to the private schools and stuff like that because he was disrespectful and he was arguing with the mom.
Yeah, and I think honestly, when he was working at the school, honestly, I think he was lying about his credentials and he couldn't prove, because what I think he has, I think that he went to school. I don't think he has his full degree. I think he has the credit hours. I think that he never, those schools require you to pay off your debt to get your certificate, and so I think he
Mm,
falsified his certificates. But he
I think,
did go to
yeah,
school. Yeah.
yeah. I think all that stuff is possible with Umar. You can't really trust any of the things that he says or anything that he's gone through at face value because he's a he's a bad dude, man. He's a
Yeah,
bad dude.
people get mad because that, people are doing videos on him, because especially the whole thing with Lennon. But I have to say this, the people that used to follow Umar is Lennon's audience. So it's like
Yeah.
did you ever, not one time, did you ever believe in Umar ever, and end up changing your mind after you found out about him, or did you kind of always thought just from day one that he wasn't on the up?
Um, I could say with confidence, pretty much from day one, which I think I may have seen clips here and there, and then even when I saw my first Monty Woodgrain video where he was parodying him, and I thought it was funny without even knowing who the guy was. That by the time I saw who Umar was on the Breakfast Club, there were certain personality traits that I just didn't vibe with, certain vitriol that he had where I thought in my mind it wasn't needed in this place to be so militant. And I think I picked up on a lot of the act. So there was nothing in me by the time I found that compelled me to want to donate, to be interested, because I saw somewhat of a person, and I didn't know his whole platform, but I saw an individual that I wouldn't follow to the corner store, to nowhere. So um, yeah, he did nothing for me when I saw. I, I'm up there too. I'm not a young cat. I read a lot of the same books, a lot of the same stuff, and how we weaponize a lot of the information as well is the thing that let me know, well, I got a mind on my own, and I'm also read and educated on some of this stuff, and you can't just pull the wool, over my eyes with it. So
I
yeah,
saw I saw one video that he did, right? And it was a short clip. And I said, oh, dang, that makes sense, right? You know what he said. And then I said, let me go see what else he was talking about. And then when I saw what else he was talking about, I was like, I didn't even know he was begging for money. I didn't know any of those things. I just said what he's saying doesn't make any sense. Um, he's it was the repetitive saying the same thing 3 times, and I went to school and I know that that's a thing. Doing that intentionally was a thing, and so I kept listening to him, and I kept saying to myself, he keeps repeating the same thing over and over again, like 3 times. And so I looked that up real quick because I remember learning that in school when people do that. And then I said, yeah, he's a manipulator, and that was it for me.
right. He definitely employs a lot of those tactics for not mnemonic, but memory. sort of trances and stuff too. And it was that, and like I was saying, it was just the need to not be. I saw an act. I saw a show that he was doing a little bit of a put on, and so then I was just like, he's performing whatever he's doing there, so I just can't dig that, and I can't lend my support to anybody like this. And that's really what it was. It was like performance pieces is where I didn't see a genuine dude in there. So yeah, this never did it to me. I was just more like, oh, here's one of the other guys, whoever was really popular, around the time. One of these other guys kind of exploiting maybe not too smart black people at the moment. So that's kind of how I looked at this fool, you know.
I just saw it. I didn't really realize that women were into him, and I always saw him like I always felt like he was into light skinned women anyway. And then kind of found out, and then what really got me was when he was saying he couldn't even see his baby. He had
Mm,
his baby on the couch, and I'm
right,
just like, oh, you got court ordered supervised visitation, and
right, right.
and I said, you mad about it? I said, okay, this ain't gonna end well.
Right. So
I said,
more and more as those things started to pour in, I'm like, it was just more validation. Like this guy's a piece of shit, you know. Is where okay, everybody has some flaws, sort of deal. But I'm like, for the self-proclaimed person that he says he is, things ain't adding up, you know, right away. And that's just not cool,
well,
man.
well, I'm looking forward to seeing what Charlamagne has to say about which I got a $2 bet that
Let me
Charlamagne
look
goes.
that up.
Yeah, because we make a lot of $2 bets around here.
Okay,
So
okay.
we
All
made
right, we'll see how that goes. We'll look for what's the manual saying over there. When he looks into the camera and screen, it says some of your kids are. Yeah, yeah, all that stuff. Where he said, "I'll punch you just a little boy," that sort of stuff. He gets too beyond himself. Even when he's at the podium and he's like, he called trifling ass black folks. And he's like, I don't care what you think. We could go handle that outside. Like, at what point? That's where he got ahead of himself and his ego was too big. Because at what point do you got to say some shit like that? You know what I'm
he is
saying?
wimpy to me because I seen him at the playground and he was lingering around the playground like he was hiding from somebody. So I'll never take him
Soft,
seriously. I,
soft as baby
I'll never
shit.
get
Yeah.
over, I'll never get over that fake phone call and the phone rang. I saw that
Calling
in
us thuggy thugs. Yeah.
Look, I saw that in real time. I didn't see the video. I saw it happen in real time, and I fell out laughing.
Did you? I saw it.
Cause I knew he wasn't talking to nobody, but when the phone rang, I started. Oh man, I said, "This
I
is crazy."
got this. I got this. He tried to sound like a mob boss, man. Like he's a boss in GTA. I got this. I got this.
I just
Right?
couldn't believe it was playing out online. Like you see stuff like this out. I've seen this in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I seen
Corny.
perpetrate a fraud like on their cell phone trying to act like
Just
they
corny, dude.
yeah
You're just a corny ass mofo to even think of doing some teenage shit like that. Whack. I've heard the whole thing is whack. That you're up there, like this is how you're handling. And God, I hate saying the word. Your beef and all that stuff. Like you have, and that's where I just know this stuff isn't for me. That if this is the way that you feel like you got to handle yourself, and this is what should be no thug shit. You're a principal. You're an academic. You shouldn't even be in that stratosphere arguing that sort of way with nobody. Well, you should have known from there that this is one of the catalysts to know that this guy isn't right and he's not about the business that he says he's about because he's playing phone bully with some guy and even okay, so even his you try to go by memory here, but even the words and the way that he's supposedly roasting, I think Saw Netta, right? Um, is it you use a smurf, use this, that. Look, it sounds so childish and corny. Anything he does, because I told Mama Smurf that the baby Smurf, who talks like this?
Man, all I know is he sounds crazy to me.
Crazy.
That's why people.
So all that
That's why
stuff.
people are entertained by him. They want to meet him in person and see if he really acts like this. But all I'm saying is I don't know why a woman would want to watch him eat because I've seen him eat before and he just no etiquette, no nothing. Eating like he ain't never had food before with his hands.
It would be like that, like he's in a freaking food eating contest by himself. You know? Yeah, it just this is a weird one because and he
I'm surprised. I'm
doesn't
surprised.
know he's not that kind of guy.
I'm surprised he has never been locked up for sexual assault before.
And that too, again, able to maneuver in sort of the community of people not having the resources or it's known to tolerate a certain amount of that, versus the Me Too era sort of deal. Because he's definitely very sloppy, irresponsible, and desperate the way that he conducts himself
I
amongst
I,
women.
I still don't, I feel sorry for that lady because she was over there staying at that house with him, and that house was she didn't even try to clean it up, so that didn't even make no sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you wasn't even cleaning up. Like what are you talking about? I,
It had to deal with that, the mother, all that stuff. But again, I think some of the stuff that you made me think about when you're trying to diagnose this demographic that finds him irresistible or believes in him sort of deal. That some of them, like that lady, her name is Lene, one of the names that she goes by is Lene, is infatuated by, say, a little bit of the charisma, but the social media aspect of it too, you
exactly.
know, is why they like. So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I, and remember
When you don't feel sorry for them.
remember the conscious stripper. Like he was paying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he looked like somebody that would pay for it. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
it's just unfortunate these women they don't need much. You know, they willing to do it for a little less because he had the conscious. If listen, you telling me that lady didn't know about the conscious stripper? Come on now.
Right, right. Or other phone calls or things being handled sloppily. I'm sure he didn't just cut one off and this is the way that it is. He's been around, so I'm sure some of the stuff overlapped with his stuff. What up? Um, so even that too, like yeah, they gotta know stuff, but yeah, at what point do you realize that you really bit more in that you could chew and now you got to deal with that sort of stuff. And it may not be a lot more different than any other relationship where you get, lured in on some false pretense, and then chick happens to be goddamn crazy, or the dude, obviously is a completely different person. He's a psychopath too, So it may not be that different in certain ways than anybody perpetrating at the beginning of a relationship, you know.
Look, I would never allow Umar Johnson to sit and talk to any of my kids. Man, I'm telling you that right now.
As you know, it just like I wouldn't because of his character. He can't. I
Yeah.
don't like hanging around. I keep small, super small circles, if you could even call it that. Even dudes that I go out to work with, and not that we happen to get along, better than the average staff because we're brothers or we're younger or whatever the case is. Too. Some people just vibe differently. If I can't hang with you or I find out, but okay, so I did this one too, and I talked about it. So with some of the guys that I work with and whatnot, because of the flatters thing that came around, I wanted to know like some break room talk, like, hey, if you were with your wife or a girlfriend or you started dating or whatever the deal is, And then somewhere down the line, like even your wife, not your wife now, it has to be maybe at the beginning of a relationship, and you find out that they were a staunch flat earther. Like this is what they believe. Like somehow you get into a conversation, you didn't know this about them, and they're telling you like they wholeheartedly believe that the earth is flat. Like, would you have a problem with that, or would you look at this person a little different? Guys and girls, what's the situation? Basically, everybody except one guy said they'd be okay with it. They wouldn't look at it. When I think it's bullshit, because it's first of all, nobody wants to be real with it. They want their first they want to be perceived as this understanding person, which none of them are. But to act as though stuff like that doesn't bother you. But anyway, I'm saying if you pick a trait or something like that that you wouldn't be able to stand about a person, like I wouldn't continue having that conversation. And that's kind of like what the sector's like. I don't know why certain people. That's what maybe why I'm not so involved in everything because
Mhm.
based on the characters of some of the clowns that I see and what they're into and what they're known for and what's known about them, is like why do you keep fucking with this person? If they, like in real life, I wouldn't fuck with some jackass, some bugaboo, some punk, somebody that just didn't have a good character that I could hang around with, man. So,
Look, I
yeah.
ended a relationship with a guy. He wasn't a flat earther, but he had said something to me, and he was like a religious zealot, right? And I'm
Hmm.
I'm agnostic, so and my biggest thing is, I told him I don't really care, like, if you want to believe in all of that, that's one thing. But if you gonna sit here and try to convince me not to be agnostic, because like I'm not trying to convince you to be agnostic. I don't really, that's not a
Right,
thing for me. I'm not that just I'm just telling you that I don't know enough about this information to be sitting here having a conversation that I live
right.
in reality right now. I'm not living in like what it could be or what it was or anything like that. And so he was just like one day he said something goofy to me, like he said God talks to him. Like it sounded a little.
Uh,
It said he heard God's voice when he was talking to something. He said he was trying to win an argument with me. He said something about that. And I said, "What did God say to you?" He said, "I said he's talking to you right now." And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well,
yeah.
did he tell you to get out my face? Because if so I just told him straight. I said I can't be with somebody who can't respect the fact that I'm not finna have these conversations about something that I don't know too much about. You don't even know that much about it for me to be
Yeah.
having these conversations. But no, I would never maintain a relationship with a person if they're a nice person. I'll be cool with them,
Mhm.
but never be in a relationship with a person who thought the earth was flat. Like I
Right.
just I just can't.
Right. You'd be like, what else are you this stupid about? Like, you can't have, if this is an issue, we can't see eye to eye because wherever your moral compass or whatever your thing is, it's so skewed that we can't even come to a common point to be able to agree on most things. If this is what you believe, how am I
Yeah.
going to convince you, that I couldn't wash the dishes the other night or some stupid shit,
Now, a flat earther ain't never like look, I'm trying to fly to the other side of the world. A flat earther ain't not about to do all of that, because once they get on the plane, they'll realize that that they're in delusion. They delulu for real. So I would basically tell them like, listen, I like to travel and get into planes. It sounds like to me that you have nowhere, you plan on not being anywhere. But
Right, right.
you always hear those same people always saying stuff like, I drive everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into planes, and the flat earthers do that a lot. That you'll find out they never flown anywhere or left the neighborhood, or you know.
Let me tell you something, Emmanuel. She would have to be far, Boy, for me, and we this is what we do, right? There's certain things that we give up on. The hotness has a scale, man, for what you put up with according to the bullshit. And I'm so like, don't put up with the bullshit in my life because those in between times. I got a dude, he's my age, and the things he should be, or he is, and these are air quotes, in this relationship. He's gonna get married. He just doesn't even know it yet, how tied up he is in this thing. But he always wants to drag me around to these little bars and all this. And I only now a couple weeks ago came up to the conclusion like he just knows where all the sleaziest. He just wants to go in, scoop something up, like he doesn't care. Or even we went to this one thing, this game. He picked up these couple chicks that I knew right away what kind of chicks these were, and he was so surprised. Like in a couple weeks, he wasn't in touch with one anymore because obviously, I guess he didn't have what she was looking for in terms of finance and all that stuff. He wasn't going to support her, so she disappeared. And he's like, "Damn, she didn't even call me back like that." I'm like, "What did you think? You met under false pretenses. How do you think that's going to end up? How do you think that's going to end up for you, man?" And I'm just like, I guess some people fall for that and do the hype. But yeah, I hear what you're saying, Emmanuel. It's
Then y'all are men,
that
and
fades after a while.
like for us, it's different. Like I knew, man. I remember there was one guy. All the women thought he was fine, and they
Why
would
was he
look
fine?
visually. He was fine, and then he opened
Okay.
up his mouth, and he sounded like
Oh,
ever fun. He sounded.
yeah. Yeah, and that's the same for me with chicks that it's like it's about that in between time when you're not dressed up to go out and stuff like that. How you kind of look, you could chill with your makeup off or some regular clothes that don't accentuate everything. Because if I meet you at a club or going out somewhere fancier with that, but you just start peeling off things and you're just a poor representation. Like you don't I want to meet the real person. I want to be impressed by the real person. And you could be impressed by stuff people could buy over the counter to make you look better. But what's that authentic self like? Which I think we're missing. And nobody, not even just missing, but people aren't thinking beyond that. Like, and one
or
day we're gonna wake up together and spend a lazy Sunday. How's that gonna go?
or being like really rude when you go out, like complaining
Right.
about all the food and you know trying to get I wouldn't pay for that. It's
Yeah.
cold. It's all stank attitude. You got those people that got like a stank attitude everywhere they go.
About everything. Nothing's good.
The
A
movie,
little bit of status, and that's what Umar has. He thinks he has a little bit of status in his ego. He starts treating people like shit. He starts being louder, and now he's, an egotistical form of himself. He's loud. He's giving orders to people. He's just unbearable with his personality because they're getting some of the shine. And this is kind of what's so bad about that kind of nonsense today, man. Just a celebration of that. So I think that's all of that, and these people don't know how to handle those situations further on in their relationships. On top of that, right? That's where it all gets to some crazy thing, yelling back and forth online, leaving messages. Papa Smurf. Oh my God, what's the terminology he used? He gummy beared my Shango stick. Did you hear this?
yeah, I heard that. Oh,
This is how
hell
he
no.
explained the act of that. And it's just like, what kind of 15-year-old are you to say some shit like that? Jesus.
Man,
Gunny me like just shit.
some of these people be sounding crazy, but they just say anything that is gonna stick. Sometimes people say things to try to get under your skin, but
Sure.
yeah, but I have low tolerance nowadays. What I do if I see some content that I don't like get behind, or you're a black person, if you're a black
Right.
mag, I just say uninterested and please do not recommend.
Right, right. I hear what you're saying.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I just crazy, crazy things. So, oh, we'll see. We didn't even really talk about the. I didn't see the movie. Did you see any part of the movie?
Which movie?
Which movie? The Umar
No,
acting debut, Awaken.
yeah, I have to see that movie. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
You
All
gonna
right.
have
So
to,
you heard of it. You know about it. Okay.
you gonna have to send me the link to it because I ain't seen it.
Yeah, I could get it because after I looked at one thing at this woman's page, she just pops up over there. So Lennon damn near made her famous because she existed out there with as much subscribers as I had, and one of her things was like, if I get over 1,000 subscribers, or whatever, I mean, to get. I think the first goal was like 500 subscribers. She would release something or rather, and then the goal was to get it to 1,000.
Really? Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then overnight, she got those subscribers, and then she released the movie. I think KKC was doing a viewing of it. I'm not sure if Lennon played it, although he might plan to, but it's out there now.
See,
It's out
I've been working hard all week. I missed all that. Now I got something to watch.
there. I,
I watched.
I don't know how you're gonna do it. I don't know how you're gonna get through that.
Man, listen, I can get through it. 1.5 seconds, and then I gotta watch it like it's a like it's a 2D. You know,
Let me tell you, I don't know how you feel about bad acting, and I don't mean like a bad movie or poorly put together. It's stiff. It's a stiff, uncomfortable watch because Umar, like you're just like, ugh. It's a little cringy because you're looking at Umar. Although Lennon gave him some credit, like, oh, you acted the part or whatever, but it's like, no, it's so tense, like you're reading each other's faces, waiting for the line, and just how the lines are delivered. You're like, ugh, it is rough. I'd really like to hear your take or any of your criticisms. In certain things, it's obviously Umar, and you don't like the guy, so I might be biased on a couple things that I've seen, the little bit that I've seen about it. But the other thing is that it's definitely an amateurish effort of production, which is just not to say anything, not to put the lady down or anything, but the way that it's advertised was like this is
it was
like Black Panther 4 and shit.
it was it was worse. It was worse than Tubi.
It
Uh,
should be. Actually, it should be. Why is it on there? It's totally a movie that could go on there, man. God damn.
really?
Definitely.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
why
yeah.
that's why I gotta see it because them Tubi highlights be hilarious. I'm like this bad acting, all cut. Oh man, it's terrible.
I usually, when I'm not feeling a movie, like when I go, I could act better than that. But this one time, I think I could truly act better than like what I've seen on there. And it's just Umar being a goof, being too self-righteous in a role that's supposed to relic his real life character if he was successful at what he does. And it's like, all right, dude, you're not selling it for me. But again, it could be a major part of my bias, but it is when you watch it. You even want to cheer on for them to do a little better. Like, come on, man, you can pull this line off or whatever. But you're like,
Oh, I
you
got
know,
listen. I didn't see it because I was too busy watching documentaries that was, and then trying to get through some of the and then like the sector a little bit, trying to get through
and
some of that content.
and doing your work over there, I see too. Some of your artwork. It's
Oh
like,
no, I got to show you my artwork of Umar right now. I got Umar.
oh,
I literally got like a whole thing together right now of Umar.
oh. What do you mean, like a cartoon? Or
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And the bandos.
Oh boy.
Somebody challenged me. They asked me. They said, could I make him into what I made him into? I'll show it to you offline, but when I
Okay.
made him into it, they were like, they're gonna be surprised. It's like, I can't believe you actually did it. It was a request. Somebody request for me to make Umar Johnson into.
It's what a donkey
No, I could do that too.
should do that. That's what he is. Yeah.
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 I'll show you offline. I haven't released it yet. I might release it.
All right. All right. Wait to see any of your works and stuff. What you got coming up? That might be nice to check out. You know, you're due for a posting of sorts lately, anyway. Yeah.
Man, the sector is going wild. I be like, sometimes I say, you know what, should I engage? I'm like, no, I just watch
Yeah. Yeah.
behind. Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of hours to go by, man. You know, I'm modded up in a couple of sites and stuff like that, known in chat.
you
One
know,
goes off, then another 4 hours is a lot on a weekday, for Christ's sake, you know.
exactly. That's why I'm in the I'm in the sovereign citizen sector, where the content is a little bit different.
I don't
Oh,
think you are, first of all.
yes, I am in the sovereign.
You're always in the mix.
Yeah, that too, but I'm in the sovereign citizen sector too. So the sovereign citizen sector is just a bunch of videos of people trying to use sovereign citizenship to get out of tickets and court stuff, and it's hilarious
You gotta
because
read it.
the judge always says, you know, Mark, are you here? And they're like, yes, I am the the representative of Mark. Mark,
Uh,
Mark, you're not here, bitch, Warren.
oh my God, what kind of nerdy shit is going on? When I heard the word, when I heard the dispute so many years ago with this guy Al, when I heard the words tribunal being used toward a decision of keeping somebody in the sector, I was like, these dudes are out of fucking control. Talking
Yeah,
about having to try for some panel guests and shit. You guys are nuts.
man, look, they're a nightmare over there. They just like arguing to be arguing. Like it don't even make any sense now anymore. It's like you're arguing about what?
Yeah,
You
when somebody's feelings hurt, or you know the way you said that. You know, I was watching Q Butter, a little bit of Q Butter. This, oh my God, this poor woman. I don't remember the names or anything, but it got to the point where it was so class clownish because the dudes were being dudes. Let's just call it, man. The dudes were being the N words, man. They were playing the nigger role, right? This poor woman stayed so long to talk and to articulate herself, to mistake in making, you know, the panel like they were serious. And when she finished talking, putting her well placed together, her voice was very timid and everything. Like she was asking a legitimate question. You know, at least three of those dudes, they just laughed at her, like laughed her off the panel, like, who she thinks she coming in here with the blah 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 blah. And I was like, that is so fucking ignorant. And she stayed in there. She
man,
stayed in there to ask her question. But these guys were just like, it's too late. These guys probably been drinking. They're looking at you as the nerdy girl and not even giving you a chance on there, man. I thought it was so sad.
and I was watching Q Butter, and he had this brother on there, and he was talking about education. He was talking about we don't have enough like engineers and stuff like that. And the guy was like, well, I don't know nothing about that. And he cammed up, and I said, I couldn't believe this man is that dumb. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. Sometimes he just, and Q Butter sometimes be having like patience too, just letting them say
Yeah.
this shit. I be like Q Butter over there doing something else. Ain't no goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah. When he's not regulating, when it's just two people yelling at each other, oh,
Yeah,
what? You think I'm gonna? You're like, all right, ding, ding, somebody needs to step in or turn a microphone off or something like that. So, yeah, I guess in the time
well,
of like a
at least,
9 hour
at
stream, you're
least,
not on there doing stuff.
at least in our sector, they be having people talking about stuff that happened like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And it's like, You still talking about that? You would
You
swear
guys
it
are
happened
nuts.
last week. You know it's bad when you got somebody in the sector who work as a what was he do? He a landscaper. And
Okay.
he was at work on his lunch break arguing with somebody else
On his
about,
lunch break.
about about
Oh shit, that's funny.
his dude arguing on his lunch break talking about he made showed a paycheck to about he made $1,200 in the last 2 weeks. I was like, okay.
Shouldn't you? Like, should you, man? Like, come on now. Yeah,
Like,
grown ass man. Come on now.
like, what is you arguing for? These dudes be arguing about the dumbest shit I've ever. Like, I just don't like. They be arguing about real life stuff. They arguing over who took a bath, who
Oh my god.
shit.
I remember this one dude. You break out. You start. Excuse me. You start knowing people, right? From different, like, oh, they're so and so. So this is why you go chill and see who is whoever outside of Lennon or KKC. This guy's like, I'm going live. I remember one guy, I followed him for like an hour, and I was like, this ain't for me. Conscious energy.
Oh yeah.
He had, and he was supposed to be, I'm putting this in quotes, like an artist. And he used to play his songs, and one of his songs of this guy who's now started talking about building the school himself and doing some fundraiser stuff. These guys are just like Umar. They got ideas, they got no backing or any way to do any of this stuff. But one of his songs were called Strippers and Cocaine.
Oh,
And
you talk about okay.
yeah, right. Strippers,
Yeah, somebody was playing.
cocaine.
Every year they celebrate him every year on 820, right? So
On 820. What's 820?
So 820 was when Eyes Antonio accidentally gave him $820 and he never gave it back to her.
I think I heard about
Yeah,
this.
so every year is 820. So of course, Hoodie went live about and played all of his songs. All you hear is Mr. PAT. And so there's this video where Conscious Energy is singing the lyrics to the song, and it's like let me just tell you that it's a very huge pause moment. I'm
Uh-oh.
like, why are you singing the lyrics to a song that's talking about balls and what he gonna do?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And so he showed up. He mad now because he can't stand it. He's like, yeah, Hoodie doing comedy. You heard him talking about using one of those biddles, it's when you go to the toilet, it has the little water on the back of it. He was using a biddle, a bit something. Conscious Energy is a scammer. He
What?
Conscious Energy when I saw him when I first saw him, this is how long I've known Conscious Energy. Conscious Energy used to say this all the time: the 2020 finesse is in progress.
Ugh.
That was him talking about Umar Johnson. That's how long Conscious Energy been in this game.
Was
After
he a supporter originally?
No, he didn't support Umar at all. That's why he was saying the 2020 finesse was in progress. And then a year later, Umar Johnson's playbook and was trying to scam people, talking about he gonna be delivering food to the kids and trying to scam and get money.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he used to debate Darrell, who used to be a Umar Johnson supporter.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he used to be over there with him debating him when he had his old channel. And I was just like, why is he debating this guy who is like only like how conscious any about 5'5"? He is picking the thigh.
Ripper,
He from
go
Houston.
away. I think that's what I told him a long time. He sounded like somebody. Uh, Houston area, at least his voice when he was
Yeah,
talking to me.
that's what he. Yeah, that's where he from. That's why you sound like that. It's
Gotcha.
out there. It's out there. Them dudes used to be like studio time. Probably was $2-3 back then when he was making.
Studio closet, one of those ones where you record in the closet. That's the
Man,
sound booth.
he's from like the third or fourth ward out there. That's where he's from.
Mhm. Wow, man. Yeah. So does he still do his thing out here?
Yeah, he still be on here. Back. He's still on here talking about take that, take that, take that, doing it all, and then he says it wrong now.
Oh, right.
Doing it all legal, but now he be saying
Yes.
he's doing it all illegal, and then everyone starts laughing because he be stumbling over his words.
Oh, right. Okay. Be messing it up the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember he used to say all that
and
nonsense.
then one Thanksgiving he cooked online. Oh my god, that food was terrible.
Oh, oh no. Oh,
And then he was making T-shirts, and people was buying his little T-shirts and hats.
wait a minute. I remember he got caught for stealing images. Was this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Right?
He stole make a change thumbnail. Remember, he was like, "You, I stole your thumbnail." Yeah.
Yeah, he was stealing some stuff for his artwork, and I don't know who did the work back
He
then,
was
but they
stealing.
exposed where the original pieces were and all that shit.
It was from Make a Change.
Make a change, probably,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Holy shit!
Everybody's still around roasting.
Holy shit! That is
But
wild stuff.
the new the new thing is that they're all mad. They're mad at Lynn and Honor because the new thing is that the dissertation they sent Lynn and Honor that dissertation years ago. And then he's acting like this is the first time he's seen it, but they sent it to him years ago, and he never.
Oh, for Christ's sake! I'd be
Yes,
mad at that man for every little goddamn thing. Like,
but
stop it.
they used to be a part of him. That's the problem. I don't know how they fell out, but they used to be. The AFW used to be Team Lennon, and then
Yeah, yeah.
but
I think ego
they
got it. Ego got it.
yeah, but they just fell out just recently. Um, Rev G and AAS they fell out. So Rev G said he's no longer talking about the AFWs anymore, and yeah,
It's inevitable because they're not happy people. None of them
yeah,
are happy people, so they're gonna go at each other and all that. You know.
yeah. Well, that's because she found her some new Tinder. She's found her another Tenderoni. That's why. Because
Yeah,
we got somebody in the sector that there's dead set on getting people fired from their jobs. So he said I'm calling the police on everybody. He said I'm calling jobs. Yeah. So
yeah. I'm not.
you
That's
got you got
not me. No, thank you. I'm not part of that. Never gonna be part of that. They're all nuts, in my opinion, man. So yeah. Oh, Tizzy Tiz off the job.
finally so Ted's
Good for
like
you, man. Good for you.
I'm listen, look, Ted's late. I'm sleepy now.
Sleepy now. Yeah, what do we got? We got almost what do we got? Almost 3 hours. We hang on. We could stop at 3.
Okay.
We could go till 3 hours. It's a good one. I feel like it's a good quality one. Good discussions. We got some information out. We're caught up. We're catching up.
Hey, look, I'm gonna watch. Now I gotta watch Spike Lee's version of Katrina. I don't know why.
Yeah, you'll definitely like it. He did a great job.
Yeah, I watched the Ryan Coogler one that was on Hulu.
Now I'm interested in that one, but I don't know what more
It was like it's like you know how like National Geographics do they stuff. I think he kind of directed it and everything. So.
Yeah, yeah. And they were saying, I saw a thing online that ESPN canceled a documentary slated from Spike Lee on Colin Kaepernick. He
Yeah, I
had
heard
one that was
that
racially
too.
canceled, I think. And it got some flack, but again, I do believe in that guy's stance, of what he took and what he actually had to pay for it. I think we're too critical of a lot of these guys that actually we're not putting ourselves in anybody else's shoes for what they did or what they attempted to do with it. I think it may have been worth a look at some of the intricacies of that time and how it coincided with everything else going on in society and his stance on
Mhm.
it. That some people tried to make it anti-American or anti-military and stuff like that too, versus what he could protesting exactly what he said he was protesting, the police brutality and whatnot. It was his right
Just made it
to
more
do
than
that.
what it was.
You're saying he made it more than what it was?
No, no, they did. He was just
Oh,
protesting. He had the right to. They be always talking about this is a free country and you can do whatever you want to do. And he was quietly protesting. It wasn't like
yes,
making any
yes.
noise.
Yeah, it wasn't sloppy, it wasn't disrespectful, and it's funny the silent gesture, the private, the solitude of the pride that he had when he was doing it is the one that caused the most problems. It
Hmm.
was the most impactful for what he was trying to do. So, the only thing, and again, maybe it's a little bit more of the social engineering sort of stuff where they try to make him look foolish versus anybody validates, the reason that he was doing his protest for anyway, you know, strategies, you know,
And,
tricks, tricks and
and
tricks. I can't wait for you to see Awaken.
yeah, I need to send me the link. So, cause I watched a little bit of Lennon. Like I can't watch all the Lennon. I only can catch,
Yeah,
what
Lennon
at
goes in.
going live, and he be talking. He's too repetitive for me sometimes. Like get to the
I
point.
think so. He's
I did
very thorough.
today. Okay.
Say again?
I said, what did Umar say today? That's all I be wanting to know. But I did hear Umar.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did hear them say that Umar. They said that Umar said that Lennon got some white stuff around his mouth, and I wanted to see where that was at. What? Who's?
the crack corners of the mouth where you all dry mouths. You're
I'm like, why are
doing.
you looking at that man's mouth like that? That's crazy.
There's that too, but why does he push his face all in front of the camera? If you look like that, if you look all doped up, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Obviously, you're gonna take care of yourself. And there's times where Umar used to love coming out the barbershop lined up, beard lined up, and stuff like that.
Omar said that Lennon need to clean the white stuff off his mouth, and I can't find the clip where Umar said it, because Umar he responded to Lennon, and I just trying to figure out where and when.
Oh, I'm not. And this is what more recently.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
that
He
means
does.
that he's watching Lennon's videos.
Oh, that Umar's watching Lennon like that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Fine. I was like, dang, where is he watching them at?
Yeah, okay. I got you. I got what you're saying. I'm sure he watches all of it because there's been times Lennon has spoken about things and he reacted in times where it looked like this is proof Umar's not doing anything. Otherwise, this, that, we'll find out some sort of contradiction about it. And then Umar, within a day or two, back into school, like, I'm at the school, I'm working. I don't have time to be on the internet. I said I don't have time to be on. I said I don't have time to be on the internet.
Did he pay the state or for the money? Because I to
Oh,
no,
I think Emmanuel put that in before over there. There is an understanding. He put up some money, and he put up about 11,000, maybe an extension or something. But he was able to. Basically, he was able to avoid any auctioning off or anything like that at the moment.
you
Um,
think so?
you know.
You believe it? You believe it? Because if they said they were auction that they were taking them, they were auctioning it. how they go back and say, "Oh, you got the money now? Okay."
We're not doing it anymore. Right, right.
Yeah, that don't even make any sense, and that's why I was trying to follow the uh the paper trail because somebody was saying that they already took over the buildings. Um,
Mhm.
so
Lennon or KKC would be reporting it. KKC is almost daily on.
I think KKC was it was on KKC's channel where he was
Oh,
exposing.
really?
So yeah, I think I gotta catch it.
All right, I didn't see that one yet, so I'm
Because
gonna have to go back and check that out.
I didn't catch it because you were lying.
Cause what? Cause I was on. You said.
I had to prioritize. I had to like, oh man,
Ah, there we go. Yeah, KKC. KKC's all in my time slot. He came over
the
here once and said what's
sector
up.
last week the sector was in your time slot too. I was like, dang, but they went live.
All up, right?
They went
Right.
early. They went live
Multiples.
yesterday.
There were multiples in my time slot. I was like,
Man,
damn.
it was like last week, everybody went live last week. I was like, and then you started having technical difficulties.
Yes.
I
Had
don't
my
know.
technical difficulties, and then yeah, I thought with that I could. I was really stupid. I shouldn't have disconnected and tried to come on. That was definitely the end of that. If I just tried to like do some shit with the computer on, but I did a security and update and all that stuff, so it wanted to restart. It said it requested to restart the computer, so it was kind of hanging there. And sometimes things work or whatever. It just needs to do the reset. So I was trying to finish the show, with that up, but it started causing things to be even more shitty. Plus, now I'm still looking. My internet's down at the one bar on my computer, and I don't remember the last time it's been this bad, but I haven't really been paying attention to it. I might
You
bring the
just
thing over
need
to
to
the
you
couch.
just need to restart your modem.
Probably. You think so?
Yes, yeah. When you get the chance, restart your modem so it can read your computer again.
Because it's never, I didn't really pay attention to this all week. It's like on the last little dot, you know.
Yeah, so you
So,
need to restart your modem so because it's connected through Wi-Fi, so it might not be it probably assigned the ISP on it. I mean, it assigned something, but you might need to reboot it because that happened to me last Saturday when my modem went down because electricity. I don't know, it was like a weather related thing.
mhm,
And so everything came back up except for the computer. It wouldn't even see my Wi-Fi. So I had to shut my computer down and then I went and I rebooted I could reboot my Wi-Fi from my phone anyway. So I rebooted my Wi-Fi and then it was able to read the computer.
mhm,
Because sometimes the router can't find the machine to connect to.
mhm.
But it could be that. And you just did a software update too?
Yeah, it was a big one. So,
Yeah, it had to be because when I went on my Windows computer one day, I came in my room and it was my office and it was the screen was bright and it was trying to do something and it said it did a big software update. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. So, I don't know what the hell works, what doesn't work, you know. Just
Well, you just what you got, a Dell?
an HP, but I'm using my old HP because my new one got some water on it.
How you
Not my
get
new one, my newer one, the one that I would use, the one that I feel confident switching back and forth programs and playing clips on. I can't do that with this one because it's really like a really one tasker. So on
oh
top of the connection not being great, the other one was like a what is it, Core i7 chip Intel, blah, 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 blah. So it was good. It's good if I ever get it back, you know.
yeah, because I usually if you hear me talking from my mic, it's plugged into my Windows machine. Because I didn't feel like putting an adapter in to put it on my Mac. But I'm on my MacBook Air.
MacBook Air. Wow.
Yeah,
Light.
I got a couple machines over here.
All right, stop bragging. Stop bragging. We get it. You do tech.
Well, yeah, because I got a Mac Mini now.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
I don't really like it, but yeah.
Does the job, well, it must do the job well. It's better than any older piece of whatever, you know.
I just don't like old software. I gotta do a
Okay.
software update now. I just hate all the software update. It's like they come out with a software
Yeah,
update every 2 seconds. It don't matter who it is. Windows, Mac, they do it. They both do it now.
yeah, yeah.
I just don't like the Windows machine because it's not a full app based system, and they should been moved to an app based system by now, not a little app based system.
Oh, hmm.
Like you can download apps through the Microsoft Store, but
That
it's not
actually makes
a
sense.
complete app based system. And
Hmm.
Microsoft should know better by now. They should already have all apps.
I think StreamWorks,
Sure.
Stream, the other one, kind of does that too, but it
Because I
changed
watch
up a little too much.
I watch a lot of scam TV, right? And more they are it's easier for them to access a Windows machine than a Mac because a Mac is an app based system. They can't
Hmm.
lock you out of your Mac because it's all connected to the cloud and all that. The the Windows machine does have like that security, all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but still, it's annoying.
Heard that. Heard that. All right. We have another topic, but we want to wrap it up a little bit.
And we wrapping it up, but I'm make sure you send me that link to the movie so I can watch it, so I have something to talk about next week.
All right.
Um, and then I did send you that Ari Spears thing. No,
Ah, right, right.
I was sending you that just to show you that. See how he be telling on himself when you know what his angle is, but he's not that good at basically telling you that that's what he's doing it for. I just seen him actually go in
It's
on the
not
white.
sophisticated enough.
Yeah, he went in on the white lady that was a Trumper recently.
I didn't see the clip, but I heard something about it. That is into my watch later. Of he schooled a heckler or something like that.
Yeah. But he does a lot of things to like basically to get views and clicks, and he just says whatever.
Yeah, yeah. There's that too. But I hate the thought that he thinks that he's finessing the system versus looking cringy like.
He's a hater though.
And that.
He only likes East Coast rappers. He would not give none of the West Coast rappers their props.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All of that. And then you said like doesn't end up. I forgot the bullshit phase on love is going through. Also
Yep.
for being this exact dumbass just like that. You know.
That's why I told him he gonna end up like Faison Watch. He gonna be in court one day. Like when he didn't. I remember when Zoe and that brother was going back and forth, Corey Holcomb, and they
Yes.
were arguing over him because they like
Yes.
the dude didn't sue Zoe, he sued Corey Holcomb because Corey Holcomb got money.
Right. Right.
He knew
Right.
exactly what he was doing. He was like, I ain't gonna hit this guy because I'm about to get money out of him.
Right. Right. And then at the end of the day, he punks. He's a punk. Does some
Exactly.
punk stuff. So, and unfortunately, he's not putting the work into his career that would at least validate some of his off-puttingness when he does these interviews. Instead, he just looks like a jackass because he's not working on his craft. Damn. You know? So, yeah, This jackass. That's what he does. We'll see what kind of stupidness that he gets into next. But dude, you were a comedian. Do your comedy, do it well, and step off. And I know there was mention earlier about Umar doing comedy, but I don't know how comedy became this like bottom of the barrel. Anybody does it whenever they fail the fuck out, like Ti or something like that. But I respect comedians for crying out loud for the most part of what they do and how they have to do it and how they have to do it well. The thought that Ti could step on and just the punk that he is and try to be funny, like he has the character, you know, this is like
But
it is funny
yeah,
shit.
funny at all to me. He's
Funny.
about he needs to do something with his woman's body and booty and tell her to stop doing that to her body.
Who Ari Spears girl?
No, Ti's girl.
Oh,
Ooh,
oh shit! She was.
oh,
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 what happened to her?
and like I don't know what's going on. All I know is booty cheeks was hanging out. Uh, face looks like a muppet. I don't know what's.
Yeah, man, that's a rough look. That's a
Yeah,
rough look.
I don't know what midlife crisis these women are going through, but I ain't doing none of that. Look, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. I don't got one, but I'd rather have a flat ass than have that.
Yeah, there's just you should have stayed natural because there's still something about it about just being a woman that you could still work with. You could accentuate or change up a few things, but when you start, carving it up like a turkey and things don't fit right, you're not taking care of yourself. It just what? Yeah, you totally look like the Muppet Show, happening over there, man. And
Muppet.
that shit is unfortunate. So,
All
yes,
right.
yes, yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Emmanuel. Good night. Bye, Tiz. Good night. Bye, whoever
Right.
will see the replay. And bye, last call. I'm going to bed.
All right, let me close this bad boy up. Do your thing. I know you got, that event in the morning. I don't know if you want to make that public, but I hope you handle everything. It goes like it's supposed to go
Yeah.
and do that.
All right.
All right, and great show. Thank you for stopping by, man. Definitely appreciate that, and I think this was a good one, if not a great one that we had. So thank you for that.
All right. All right. Good night.
All right, I can take it. Bye bye. All right, everybody else in the house. Yes, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, OG Emmanuel, as always, man, for your loyalty, support, man, involvement, everything that you do. Definitely appreciate it over here. Tiz for checking in, even on a work day, man, through the hours, working it up. Appreciate all of that, man. Steph doing what you do, checking us out too, man. Yeah, I just respect what you guys do for having it. Hey, my next one next week is number 50. I am reaching my 50th 50 episode. How crazy is that? I don't know if I'm going to do anything special. I know I will. I keep teasing the Khalid router story, but now I don't want to experience the shit that I experienced tonight. I know how frustrating it is for a viewer or a listener when things start stuttering. And of course, now I got two bars on the thing, but I've never had internet issues like this, man. And trust me, man, I know it's annoying. I don't want to try to set up any viewing like that and not being able to have it play completely. So I got to figure my shit out on the end. Otherwise, just whatever you're doing, have me on in the background while we talk about stuff. Man, we talked about everything. The Amanda Seals stuff, the latest Umar things, just what's going on over there, the movie, all that crazy stuff. I do have to remember to send that link on it to Josephine because something that we got to talk about to over there. I forgot to say I saw most of the things from Talked about Amanda Seals from Nappy Yankees. So check out all these guys, man. KKC, Let It Honor, Information Man. Big shout out to you guys. YM, Black Anonymous, that be posting and forwarding and sharing and doing their own blogs, surveys, not, surveys and everything as well, to keep everybody abreast of the situation and to, uh, put their knowledge at this particular time. For those that have been following, it's a deal. It's a deal, man. So, of the craziness, nobody should be able to exploit the community like this. But again, we can't just focus on, this one idiot. It's got to be equal around the board that anybody trying to, pull a come up on the community like this, that they need to be squashed before they can even grow. Or that stuff just leave, the atmosphere the way that it has to be towards it. It's not a joke, playing with a kid's future, the most vulnerable sector, people's lives. You're playing around with their futures with broken promises and things like that too, and false hope, false dreams, and being a false prophet on top of that. It ain't right, you know. So around the board, we got to stop that. And we got to support. God, I wish I remembered a better list of names of people who are in the mix about this. But the Q Butters out there, the King Randall, other fellas that are actually doing it, that should be getting equal exposure for their success that we give to the tumbling down and failure of this fool Umar. The only thing, obviously, cars slow down when there's some tragic shit going on in the road, right? This is that versus coasting along when everything's working the way that it's supposed to be doing. But the point of this exposure with Umar is that nobody rises to do this sort of nonsense again. We call somebody out, we cancel it, and they continue, hopefully learn from it. They go a different path where they don't prey on the vulnerable like that also, So definitely, man, big up. And if you know anybody that's doing the stuff like Q Butter, King Randall, their resources, go ahead and put that stuff in the comments or do whatever you got to do, to support those brothers, man, brothers and sisters, anybody that's doing the job in this fight of the sector too, Definitely appreciated for the show that we had today. Thank you to Josephine coming in, man. Josephine came in hot with the topics, hot with the conversations, up there, back and forth, and good contributions too. Definitely very happy to have her, in the program, in her contributions, making this little podcast thing a lot more interesting for me too, man. So shout out to you, HNIC, Chatavis, for all the stuff that you do, and of course, check out her channel and anybody else's channel related, or some of the people, anybody that's around us, man. Just go check it out. Just go check it out. Oh. So this is the last call. This is the podcast we do Friday, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern time. This is that. We've discussed our things. We see what we're doing next week and the crazy stuff that, we're going to go through the next 7 days that we're going to have to talk about. We will have those things. So check us out. Check out any of the lives. And like we said, next week is actually episode 50. Who would I thought? Maybe I'll just go through all the stuff that made me start podcasting. And maybe it might be a little bit of a reflection also. So we'll see how that goes. The live that we do on Fridays, 9 o'clock, and cover stuff. And everybody that joins us, who joined us, thank you. Check out the video. Yeah, it was a little late again. I dropped it on Friday instead of Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. Dropped it the same day as the live. That one just has to go through the use of abusive lyrics from some of our artists like Lil Yachty and Lil Wayne when they put down and lose significance for the civil rights movement by having disrespectful lyrics towards the family and stuff, where they go aim at us as soft targets and cheap entertainment versus being real musicians doing the job and having a little bit of pride there, man. You know? So shame on that. Please go check that out and support. I drop at least one video a week besides the live. What up, a brother of a certain age? Yeah, man, a little late. We just did it up and had a good little info session here with Josephine, man. Um, oh, stepping up, brother, man.
What's up? What's up? I know I hear the outro music. You know what I'm saying? So I know you're getting up out of here, but I just wanted to come up and salute you, man. I appreciate what you do all the time. I fuck with your perspective. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come up and salute you, man. So what's going on? Could you give me a little? I'm gonna go back and listen. I'm gonna give you a play because I think I believe in supporting the content creators who are really putting in the work. But if you give me a little summary, let me know what I'm looking at today.
Okay, man. Try to compact it as much as I can, but I gotta say, without exaggeration, man, it was really a good conversation. Josephine just stepped off because we said we were gonna go about to do the 3 hours and start winding it down from then. So she just came off of that, and it was really two topics as we do what we do, and it veered off to a couple of other things. Um, to widen our discussion and perspective. So one of the things was, of course, in the Umar sector, directly what he's doing. He released his movie and all that as well, and just a lot of the bullshit that surrounds this sort of person, why this sort of persona doesn't work, but even more importantly, what keeps people, and even people that are, pro Umar in the sector, what keeps them so attached or so eye wide open and optimistic that this person is going to accomplish anything. Why can't people see past the theatrics of what he does, what he's accomplished? Why can't people see that? And why is this new surge of energy funneled into, I don't want to call it a movement, but to his side? Like that. Joe was able to explain from the perspective from her end with technology, TikTok's being, that demographic playing a role in the circulation of his words and some of the drama that's going around the sector as well, and just why it's important not to follow somebody like that and not put our hopes and dreams in, and just how to stay out of the pitfalls, and recognize these things that we should stay away from. Fast forward a little bit, just before you came on here, like a couple minutes ago, you know, we're giving attention to the downfall and maybe final. Who knows what this guy's going to do? But we forget to lift up the other people that are actually doing the job quietly and well. And I mentioned dudes like Q Butter, King Randall, and I always think it's a shame because a lot happened in a little bit of time with this Umar thing and his daughter and his asking for cash. That was the other thing that a lot had to do with Umar, but you could break it up in about 3 or 4 things to discuss. The new thing that he's doing with trying to charge women to $500 to go on a date. That he says he's to go on a date, to go for dinner. So all these, little fly-by-night circus acts to cover whatever he's covering, the ability of this guy to be so blatantly unaware of his surroundings and the perception that people have about him also, so a lot of that stuff, and wondering what will come of all of this that's happened now. And a reminder, while I let you know, I do have to forward Josephine the link to this movie that Umar is in that has now been released
I
that
did.
people are talking about.
Yeah, I did see. I did see that. I did see a little bit of the highlights. I watched a little bit of the highlights of the movie. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got you. So, and the other thing that we talked about was the Amanda Seals, what is it, 20 versus 1 or whatever, on the Jubilee channel, and some of the aspects that came through there as well. We
I'm
talked a
sorry.
little bit of,
Say again. I'm just gonna go into my
okay,
notes and put me a little side note. What is that now? The last thing you said?
my headphones are saying battery low, so I don't have that much time. So, some about are you familiar with the Amanda Seals thing
Oh
that's been
yeah. But
going on for the last couple of days?
she did the like
20
the
versus
yeah. Amanda Seales. Okay.
that sort of deal. So we were able to talk, a lot about some of the demographic that was selected. I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw most of it through Nappy Yankees channel. He did a really good job, by the way, everybody, to go check that out. Um, but just again, how those people arrived. And I spoke about some different people. We talk about this black fatigue and stuff without now it's being improperly used. It's been watered down with, you know, layman's term, black fatigue is black people dealing with the institutional and systematical racism, the way that black fatigue, as we're now people are categorizing black fatigue, is just being tired of dealing with the issues. And I think I might not remember all the categories, but to me, a lot of these people, and to Josephine, could fall into about like three different categories. One of the categories that I made note of was some people just aren't strong enough to be black because a lot of things get a bad rap. Uh, sure. And we follow these mantras of no father in the home, this, that, the other, when actually statistics say different things and why there's only violence in the black community and black on black and all these other sort of nonsense. That some of the demographic of people that they had facing Amanda just weren't that kind of people. They like the Tatums and whatnot that are up there giving interviews. They're not going in to see the intricacy the course of history that led things to be that the way that they are. They want to take the easy answer, turn around, point the finger, and do the victim blaming sort of deal without doing proper research and standing up for, look, this was done. This leads to the condition of things. These aren't excuses. These are things that were done, even backed up by Donald Trump recently trying to get rid of Smithsonian history because it makes white people look bad today, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and just craziness like this. And another point of that was, well, whatever they intended to do in history is working because it's watering down history. You're having debates like what was worse, are slaves, immigrants, or slavery different than that? So people are just watering down, relating their plights, their particular different. Not saying it's insignificant or suffering isn't insignificant, but everybody wants to level off or play up to how bad slavery wasn't compared to other things in history so that, black people don't get their due or credit in this country the way that they should. So, and also kudos to her because she is the type to get emotionally charged and is the point of an argument. You said that to maybe hold her ground and really put good arguments towards these guys the way that you expect some sort of an intellectual to also. So it was pretty good, and we went back and forth, and we pulled other case studies and examples from around the way. But overall, we got into the topics, and they were very good the way that we expanded it and stuff too, man. So it was a good one. I'm very satisfied with it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to extend you. I know you did the 3 hours or so. I didn't want to extend you, but I said, you know what? It's the homie. Let me hop up and bother him a little bit, but also, you know what I'm saying, just let him know I'm supporting. So I am going to we'll go through your. I got a shit. I got like a 3 mile 3 mile walk slash jog because I was walking with the weighted vest, and then I said I
Okay.
got bold, and I said I'm a jog, and the hamstring started tightening up, so I said I'm gonna go back to walking. Uh, I got some time, so when I get up in the morning, excuse me, I'll put you guys on and I'll listen to you. But I did just want to hop up and let you know that I support you and continue to support what you're doing here. That's really what it was tonight. So
Very nice, man. Really appreciate the support, brother. I'm talking about like all the time, and just being in a room when I pop up and saying, "Hey, what's up?" Even though I'm listening in the background or whatever it is, just to let me
that's
know that the connection is there, that the network is there, and that
that's it.
we're working.
That's
So
it. That's it.
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
And you're growing in a way that you want to grow. You know what I'm saying? The people that rock with you rock with you. And again, I know we had it was messing with you. Like me and Tiz was telling you, yo, you got a perspective, come up here, do your thing. I just want to salute you for continuing. You said 50
Next
episodes?
week is 50th episode, man. Yeah,
50. Listen, on average, I don't know if the statistics changed over in the last couple of years, but seven is where people tap out and say, you know what?
Oh,
This
damn.
is not good for me. This is not working. I'm not getting the listeners I wanted. And they tap out after, I want to say on average 7. This was, this is from, I want to say like 5-6 years ago. But when you get some time, because I know you're a research guy, take a look at what the average person who is doing podcasts and YouTube and stuff like that. And so just, not that you're going to stop anytime soon, but just every now and then you got to stop and smell the roses. I'm encouraging people to do that. We don't know how much time we have on this earth. So stop, smell the roses, and I appreciate what you're doing. I'm gonna check out. I know, like I said, I know you got the I know the music when you check it off, because I'm familiar with it. But I just wanted to definitely stop in and show you some support. And I'll hop down, let you do your outro, and I will be supporting you from here on. All right, peace, brother.
Appreciate it. Peace out. As you guys know, that is the one and only, a brother of a certain age, man. And so glad, even just for a few minutes to do that. Wow, that was important that he even did that. It just lets you know, little gestures like that let you know that somebody's out there. You have the support that of others. 50 or 49 episodes ago, he was doing the first one. He's on the first show. He's been on many since then, and we of course pass by each other in these YouTube streams, man. So thank you, man. Don't even think at the end when I'm signing out that it's some sort of an inconvenience or anything like that. Coming on, I'm always gonna watch and be part of the replay gang as well. So wow, man, much respect to you, brother of a certain age, and check out the brother's channel whenever you get a chance, and his information of what he puts out and some of the neat things he does over there too. I said, I think one of the last lives that he did was, we had a little AI battle, but just bringing new thought, provoking thought like that too is interesting material. That's why I fuck with it, man. And everybody that comes around here. So again, this is the live. We do this on Fridays, at least 9 p.m. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's dropping by. You never know when somebody's stopping by. But we do it all over here. And go check out the video that I did called Whack MCs. I know a lot of people are Lil Wayne stands. I'm not calling him a whack MC like that. I'm just saying their actions in that case. When you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, man. Other than that, I'm digging in the crates. Emmanuel, you like the songs lately that I've been dropping just much more. I think I missed a week or two, so I pushed a couple close together to make sure that you guys got some quality sound bites and music in there that you could ride to, that you could dig in your own crates. Other than that, man, so happy with the show. I thank everybody. Do me a favor, man. Like, share, subscribe, leave comments, man. I appreciate everybody, the love. Next week is the 50th episode. How crazy is that? From nothing. Appreciate it. Love and support. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Have a better week that you start off after you do whatever you're going to do. August is over. It's over, man. Almost over. And then we're going to be in this fall time. Things are going to start changing. So again, man, thank you, everybody. And peace out, everybody. Peace.
I'm